Hey guys, hope you are well. So, welcome to the Anime Fictions 2.0. This is the story about what if Naruto can copy Bloodline limits. Part 3. If you love this whatif, do subscribe for more awesome whatif. Share with your friends and enjoy them. Check out the other videos I have created. Comment down your opinion. Share with your friends. So, without wasting any time, let's jump into the third part. Guilty as hell, and that is everything that happened up to that point. Naruto concluded his version of events, finding himself under interrogation as expected, and as usual, as he had now become accustomed to such procedures ever since he revealed his true potential, or at least, what everyone else thought to be his true potential. Personally, he knew that they had not even scratched the surface of what he could actually do, and if they feared him so much now, he couldn't help but to wonder just how terrified they would have been if they knew what he could really do. On the bright side, the Sandaime Hokage was now done and dusted thanks to Orochimaru, and as if that wasn't good enough, the Sandaime Hokage had gone and taken away Orochimaru's hands by sealing them into the Death God, thereby taking away a large chunk of the Snake Sanin's access to ninjutsu. Honestly, he couldn't have hoped for a better result as one of his enemies was dead and the other was rendered almost useless, almost. Still, Naruto wasn't naive enough to believe that things would be necessarily easier for him inside the village, case in point the fact that he was currently under intense scrutiny and questioning by the three elders, who also happened to be the old fart's advisors and childhood friends, namely, Evil Root A&B leader and Hokage wannabe Shimura Danzo, Udatain Koharu, and Mitokado Hamura. Jiraiya, of course, was also in the room, and so was Kakashi, Kurenai, Ibiki, and Anko. Your story certainly matches up perfectly with one Uchiha Sasuke's version of events. If he hadn't been completely isolated since the invasion, I would have sworn that the two of you had rehearsed it together. Jiraiya said with a tiny hint of suspicion. It matches perfectly because it is the actual truth. If it didn't match up, then one of us would have been lying. Obviously. Naruto replied casually. You do not seem all too concerned about Sarutobi's passing, Naruto-kun. I was under the impression that the two of you were very close. Koharu asked inquisitively. I was also under the impression that the three of you elders were his childhood friends. You don't seem all that bummed out about it. Jiraiya-sensei was his beloved student. I don't see him crying. Naruto retorted. You're deflecting, that's a very peculiar response, Uzumaki Naruto. Danzo with an edge to his tone. I'm not deflecting, you old fart. I'm merely making a point. We are all ninja here, death is part and parcel with the job. Nobody is going to walk around sulking and crying in public about their losses. Or have you forgotten the ninja rules in your old age? A shinobi must never show emotion. You forgot that rule already? Naruto asked rhetorically. Your callous way of talking and blatant disregard for protocol was amusing when you were little, but that has gotten old very fast. I would suggest you show a little more respect when addressing your superiors, Uzumaki Naruto. Hamura said dangerously. Yes, whatever. Am I done here? I really don't want to be here otherwise. Naruto asked with exasperation. You're not done, not by a long shot. We need to talk about your status in the village going forward. Danzo said with a strange and sinister glint in his eyes. My status? Naruto asked, playing dumb for appearance's sake of course, as he knew exactly what Danzo was talking about. You are the vessel of the nine-tailed demon fox, and yet you were unable to defeat the vessel of the one-tailed fox. In fact, it doesn't even seem like you even tried at all before running with your tail between your legs. That is an insult and embarrassment to the village and our status in the shinobi world, and a direct consequence of that is the thousands of good men and women who were lost in the war with Otogekure and Suna. This issue cannot be ignored any longer. You need to be trained to use your demon powers. You need to join my ANBU so that you can receive proper training and condizioni. Hold on a second there, Tigre, isn't that supposed to be the Hokage's decision? Has a new Hokage been elected yet? Aren't you getting a little ahead of yourself there, Danzo? Naruto asked rhetorically. That's Lord Danzo to you. Nevertheless. Lord Danzo, it is not your decision to make. Naruto said firmly. Nice try, Danzo, but I'm afraid things aren't going to go the way you think they will. Naruto thought maliciously. Indeed, Uzumaki Naruto-kun. Fortunately, we had already discussed this with Sarutobi and Lord Daimyo before the final round of the Chunin exams in case something happened to Sarutobi during the war. It was decided that Jiraiya of the Sannin should succeed the third and become the Godaime Hokage. Koharu interjected. What? Why wasn't I informed of this meeting? Danzo asked angrily. How strange that you should ask such a question. Lord Danzo. I was under the impression that, As the commander of the famed Root NBE unit, nothing is supposed to happen within the borders of Fire Country without you knowing about it. Perhaps you're not as good at your job as you were rumored to be, or perhaps you're losing your touch in your old age. Naruto said degradingly, causing Danzo to glare murderous daggers at him, the old war hawk seriously beginning to really hate the Yandame's son. Well, it appears you have your answer, Danzo-dano. Hamura said, trying and failing to hide the amusement dancing in his eyes as a little bit of it leaked into his tone. Damn you, Hiruzen! This is all your fault. Danzo thought furiously, unable to believe that even from the grave Hiruzen had managed to outwit him and got the last laugh. In any case, with regards to your proposal, Danzo-dano, it would appear that the authority to grant or deny your request rests with our new Hokage, Jiraiya-dano. Koharu said, all eyes now firmly settling on Jiraiya as everyone waited anxiously to hear his response. It won't be necessary for Naruto to join Root in order to learn and master his Jinchuriki powers. I will be taking over that responsibility. But nevertheless, it is not my decision to make, as I believe that I can get us a more suitable Hokage candidate. Naruto and I will leave as soon as possible. We will find my old teammate, Senju Tsunade, and bring her back to the village. She will become the Godame Hokage. Jiraiya declared controversially. Jiraiya-dano, you can't possibly be seriously considering declining such a great honor and responsibility. The village needs you now more than it has ever done before. Lady Tsunade severed all ties to the village. What even makes you think she will return to the village, much less take on the mantle of Hokage? Ibiki asked with both incredulity and concern in his tone. 2 Sannin is better than 1, is it not? If I successfully return Tsunade to the village and she becomes Godame Hokage, will the village not be better off than if I were to just take on the role myself? Jiraiya asked simply. And what happens if she refuses to return? Ibiki asked warily. Then we will drag her back here kicking and screaming if we have to. It's really that simple. Naruto answered, as if forcing a Sannin to do anything was the easiest thing in the world, everyone looking at Naruto as if he had grown a second head on top of the one that he already had. There you have your answer, Jiraiya said with a stern tone, a tone that left no room for doubt or questioning. Very well then, you have 1 month to find her, bring her back to the village, and have her take on the mantle of Hokage. Should you fail to do that within that time frame, you will automatically become the Godame Hokage and be required to return to the village with immediate effect. Hamura retorted. Those are acceptable terms, Jiraiya said agreeably. Naruto, go home and pack your bags, we leave immediately, Jiraiya ordered. He's not going anywhere, I'm not done questioning him, Danzo said sternly. Geez, old man, what more do you want to ask him? He told us everything and his story lines up with Uchiha Sasuke and Hirono Sakura's version of events. We also know for a fact that they haven't interacted or seen each other since the invasion. Uchiha Sasuke has been under constant surveillance at the hospital, and so has, to a lesser extent, Hirono Sakura. Enko said with a little exasperation, wanting this whole charade to be over with already, as she was bored to death by any interrogation method that did not involve the drawing of blood coupled with the immeasurable pain and loud screams of the interrogation subject. It's okay, Enko-san, I'm always ready to leave the village at a moment's notice. A ninja must always be prepared for any eventuality. Let Danzo-dano ask his questions, I'm sure he won't be long, Naruto said casually. You were seen with Yakushi Kabuto a day before the invasion, the same Yakushi Kabuto who happened to be a traitor to the village, the same Yakushi Kabuto who happens to be Orochimaru's right-hand man, the same Orochimaru who attacked our beloved village during the final round of the Chunin examinations. Add to that the fact of you not even getting a scratch on your person in your team's fight with Shikaku and you leading Shikaku on a rampage across the village, I'd say it looks like you are quite the traitorous enemy of Konoha, wouldn't you say, Uzumaki Naruto? Danzo asked rhetorically, everyone staring at Naruto with shock, anger, disbelief, and suspicion. Hee. Ha ha. Naruto laughed amusedly. I'm sorry, Uzumaki-san, but no, actually, I'm sure that none of us in this room with the exception of you find any amusement in this situation. Would you care to share the joke? Danzo asked with barely contained anger, but also wariness. Danzo-dano, I didn't know you were such a joker. I mean, imagine if I told everyone here that you were the true Orochimaru collaborator? Imagine if I told everyone here that you had an entire arm made out of Hashirama's DNA made for you by Orochimaru? Imagine if I said that you had a Sharingan hidden behind those bandages of yours? Wouldn't you laugh at the sheer weight of stupidity laced into every syllable in that statement? Naruto asked with a sinister undertone, Danzo doing everything in his power to maintain a poker face while sweating profusely on the inside, unable to understand or comprehend how Naruto could have gotten his hands on that information. Meanwhile, everyone waiting with bated breath for Danzo's retort. You'll have to forgive me, Naruto, but I had to give you one final test to confirm your loyalties. It was nothing personal, Danzo said diplomatically. You won't get away with this, you filthy brat. Danzo thought with barely contained malicious intent. No offense taken, I understand perfectly. Can I go now, or is there another test lying in wait? Naruto asked with feigned impatience. You're fishing in the wrong pond, you idiot. While you're busy trying to find a connection between Orochimaru and I will be busy finalizing my plans for the Bloodline. You're playing checkers, but I'm playing shogi. You're too many steps behind. You're not even on the same board game as me. Naruto thought diabolically. No, you're free to go. For now, Danzo said malevolently. Thank you, Danzo-dano. Jiraiya-sensei, I'll be waiting for you at the gates, or rather where the gates used to be, Naruto said as he got up to his feet. Good call, I'll be with you soon, I just have to sort out a few things quickly with the elders. Jiraiya replied. Roger that, by your leave then, everyone, Naruto said as he turned and walked out of the Hokage's office. So, Kurenai Ibiki, what did you think? Jiraiya asked curiously. I have no thoughts on the matter at the moment. I honestly cannot tell what is real and what is not. I only know what you know, that his story checks out, even though his lack of resistance against Shikoku and his Jinchuriki is a point of suspicion. Having said that, he did eventually find you and helped you to defeat and seal away Shikaku, so. Kurenai trailed off, leaving the sentence open-ended as there really was nothing else to say on the matter. They needed more surveillance on Naruto, and they needed more evidence before they could conclude anything. My report is exactly the same as Kurenai-san, we don't have enough evidence. In fact, had his actions been undertaken by anyone other than him, there probably wouldn't even have been a need for suspicion or interrogation. Ibiki replied. So you're saying that his actions only seem suspicious because we are already suspicious of him? Jiraiya asked rhetorically. He is guilty. Just because you cannot prove something doesn't make it any less true. You are all ninja, what do your shinobi instincts tell you? Danzo intercepted Ibiki before he could answer. I've seen this game played many times, most recently by Orochimaru in the events leading to his defection. While it is hard to comprehend that Minato-kun's heir could ever turn traitor, we must consider that he knows nothing of his lineage and was raised in a very negative environment. It wouldn't surprise me to find that he holds no love whatsoever for the village. I do not believe he is working with Orochimaru, however, at least, not actively. If he was, he would have unleashed his bijou alongside the Shikaku child and attacked the village together with him. It would have been the clearest opportunity for him to destroy the village. He might have his own goals and ambitions outside of whatever Orochimaru has planned, and therefore, if involved at all, decided to play a more passive-aggressive role in the invasion. Nevertheless, it is good that Jiraiya-kun and Kakashi-chan have decided to take him under their wing. Perhaps you could mold and shape him to be the kind of shinobi you, Sarutobi, and Minato-kun have been for the village. We entrust everything to you, Jiraiya-kun, Kakashi-chan, Hamura said sagely. Thank you, we will do the best we can, right, Kakashi? Jiraiya said as he smacked Kakashi hard on the back, causing Kakashi to stumble awkwardly before quickly righting himself again. Of course, Jiraiya-sama. Kakashi replied with a slightly goofy salute. Thank you, both of you. Feel free to approach us if you need any help on the situation. We will provide a listening ear and offer words of advice where we can. Kohara said with a small smile. We will handle and fix the situation, we promise. Jiraiya said firmly, determination shining brightly in his eyes. 3 days later, knock knock knock, one with a ridiculously strong and potent chakra, and one with a ridiculous amount of chakra? Definitely the Akatsuki, Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame to be exact. Naruto thought as he leisurely got up from his couch and went towards the door, recognizing the trademark Uchiha chakra very well, having spent a lot of time with Uchiha Sasuke and of course his sensei, Hatake Kakashi, whose chakra was tainted by the Uchiha signature. Knock knock knock, coming! Naruto shouted as he got closer to the door, opening the door without bothering to look through the peephole as he was quite certain about the identities of the two individuals. Good afternoon, Naruto-kun. The shorter individual of the two greeted politely, a guy who looked a lot like Sasuke, Naruto noted, but was taller of course than Sasuke and bigger in terms of physique, spotting a 3-tamo Sharingan with tear trough-like markings running down his face from his eyelids. He was wearing a black cloak with a high collar that had red clouds on it, light blue shinobi pants, and black ninja sandals along with white leg warmers. The other guy looked like a blue shark that was pretending to be a human being, or one that had taken on a humanoid form, and he was also wearing the exact same outfit as Itachi except his sandals were blue instead of black, and he had a gigantic sword on his back that was wrapped around with white bandages. He was also much taller than Itachi and had a more powerful-looking physique too. "Good afternoon, Itachi Dano, Kisame Dano. Would you like to come in? I was making some coffee and biscuits, and I would be honored if you could join me," Naruto replied politely. This is not the kind of response I expected at all. This Jinchuriki must have been dropped on his head as a baby, Kisame said with amusement dancing in his eyes. "We have orders from our leader to take you back to the organization with us," Itachi said simply, ignoring his partner and willingly participating in this charade for now. "I'm not the one you want though, am I? It is the beast inside of me that you really want, am I right?" Naruto asked rhetorically. "These Konoha shinobi are something else, aren't they? Hard to believe that even genin-level ninja like him know about our organization after we went to such great lengths to keep our existence, and especially our true motives hidden," Kisame said with a little disappointment in his tone. "It changes nothing. You're coming with us, Naruto-kun, willingly or by force, it's your choice," Itachi said as if without a care in the world one way or another. "How soon is your deadline? You see, I'm currently working on a special jutsu to separate me from the fox without killing me. If your deadline is not immediate, would it be possible to give me some more time to get rid of the beast? Or is this a request I can only ask directly of your leader?" Naruto asked curiously, Kisame and Itachi looking at each other with invisible question marks on their foreheads as they were dumbfounded by this turn of events, more so Kisame than the ever-stoic Uchiha though. "You buying this shit?" "I'm not buying it one bit. I think he's just stalling for time in hopes that Jiraiya will come to the rescue," Kisame said skeptically. "I couldn't detect any signs of deception with my Sharingan. Did you and Samahata detect anything from his chakra fluctuations?" Itachi asked curiously. "No, but I bet he's a really good liar. He sure looks like one. I mean, just look at him, he's acting just like you," Kisame retorted, Itachi raising an eyebrow at his partner's insinuation that he was an expert liar, which was true of course, but he just hadn't known that Kisame was that acutely aware of it. Perhaps he needed to reevaluate his friendship with the ex-Miss Swordsman. After all, this was a guy who made his name by killing his own sensei and many of his own comrades and countrymen. "So, is this a normal thing for you guys, staring into each other's eyes like that? Because your little romantic moment is wasting precious time, isn't it? I mean, Jiraiya-sensei has a high opinion of himself when it comes to women, but even he should be able to figure out that there is no way a pretty woman like that would fall for him so easily. Unless she was either a spy or an assassin, or in this particular case, being controlled by way of genjutsu. How long do you think you can continue to deceive Jiraiya-sensei with the genjutsu you placed on that woman?" Naruto asked much to, again, the surprise of his would-be captors, who, despite having politely asked the blonde Uzumaki to accompany them, had not expected this level of cooperation whatsoever. In fact, they hadn't expected any cooperation at all. It also surprised them that the little genin was skilled enough to have seen through Itachi's genjutsu, even if it wasn't anywhere near his best work. "This is some kind of trick, right? This kid has got to be messing with us. Let me chop off his legs just in case," Kisame said as his right arm gravitated towards the skull-like handle of his sword. "A useless gesture. My legs will naturally regenerate within half a day if I lose consciousness. If I'm awake, I can regenerate them in about a minute, maybe even less," Naruto said as if it was the most normal thing in the world. "Itachi." Kisame trailed off helplessly, completely dumbfounded by the blonde Uzumaki, not knowing anymore what to do about the young Jinchuriki. He wasn't very good at solving delicate matters like this. Usually he dealt with his problems by attacking and killing or attacking and capturing his targets. This kind of problem was just not his cup of tea. "Okay, Naruto-kun, you can make your request directly from leader, and since you're cooperating then we won't resort to violent measures." Itachi relented. "Can you keep up with us or should we have my partner carry you to our destination?" Itachi asked. "I'm not sure I can keep up with you S-ranked ninjas. Can you please carry me, fish face?" Naruto asked with mock innocence, Kisame scrunching his forehead in anger at the young Uzumaki, whereas Itachi did well to hide his amusement. "Yeah, I'll carry you, right after I chop off those damn stubs of yours that you call legs. I wonder how many times you can regenerate them before you run out of chakra?" Kisame replied with a sinister undertone. "I found you, finally." The voice of an angry young boy reverberated around the passageway. What happened next was exactly what Naruto expected when he sensed Sasuke's chakra signature enter the city, as Sasuke declared his malicious intentions towards his brother and charged at him recklessly. Jiraiya's arrival was also anticipated, as Naruto had been keeping track of everyone's chakra, his arrival forcing Kisame to keep the Sannin occupied as the two brothers continued with their one-sided duel. This left Naruto with nothing to do but to almost leisurely watch the proceedings, although there was a bit of concern when Sasuke started screaming uncontrollably before eventually losing consciousness, signifying the end of the battle. That's when Jiraiya decided to take definitive action, summoning the fire-breathing toad stomach in order to trap and capture the Akatsuki duo. Surprisingly, it was the ruthless Itachi who slaughtered the entire Uchiha clan who called for a retreat, a decision Kisame was clearly unhappy about, and verbally made it so too, nevertheless abiding by his partner's instruction as the duo ran down the corridor and took a short right. Jiraiya and Naruto followed behind the duo, all the while the blonde Uzumaki carefully and thoroughly analyzing the jutsu that Jiraiya used as he had seen the actually insides of the toad attacking and attempting to restrain the Akatsuki duo. Jiraiya seemed to have been confident that the Akatsuki duo would not be able to escape, and understandably was surprised to see a human-sized hole burn through the toad's stomach, a small black flame the only remaining indication of the jutsu that was used. Amaterasu? So those are the unquenchable black flames that Kabuto told me about. If I recall correctly, he used the left eye to cast Tsukiyomi on Sasuke, meaning that he must have used the right eye to cast this jutsu. In other words, his left eye has the ability to cast powerful genjutsu, and his right eye possesses powerful ninjutsu. Naruto thought analytically. The toad mouth bind is a jutsu that summons the stomach of the great fire-breathing toad of Entimayaboku. It's supposed to be impervious to fire-style ninjutsu. How then could this jutsu have been defeated by a fire-style ninjutsu? Just what kind of jutsu users are these guys? Jiraiya pondered warily, realizing, logically, and instinctively, that it must have been only his reputation alone that allowed he and Naruto to get off that easily, as he now was questioning whether he could have even defeated one of these guys, much less the two of them simultaneously. These are S-rank ninja, in other words, Kage-level ninja. They are no different from you, so what did you expect? Naruto asked rhetorically. Not this. Jiraiya trailed off dejectedly. The toad mouth bind must have been an undefeated jutsu up until now, that's the only possible explanation for his current mood. Naruto thought. Don't beat yourself up too much about it. I did an investigation back when I was at the academy. It turns out that Uchiha Itachi has the second highest academy scores ever, behind only Yandame-sama Namikaze Minato. You of all people should know what that means given that all three Sannin, Hatake Sakumo, Sandaime-sama Sarutobi Hiruzen, and Hatake Kakashi graduated from that same academy. Naruto explained, trying to put things in perspective for the Toad Sannin. Indeed, he is also the same man that single-handedly annihilated the entire Uchiha clan, arguably the strongest clan in the village, comparable only to the Senju clan. Perhaps I also underestimated what that achievement means exactly. Perhaps I have fallen into the same trap as my elders of underestimating the next generation of shinobi. Thank you for putting things in perspective, my apprentice. I promise not to make the same mistake again. Jiraiya vowed, following said statement by taking out a sealing scroll as he prepared to seal away the black flames. Are you planning to seal away the black flames? What for? Do you plan to replicate the technique? Naruto asked curiously. I doubt it's a jutsu that can be replicated. Bloodline lineage jutsus are frustrating like that. But it wouldn't hurt to study the technique, to learn about its strengths and weaknesses. Jiraiya explained. I see. Naruto replied simply. So what now? Do we carry on with our mission or do we head back to the village? Naruto asked curiously. We have no choice but to carry on with the mission. The sooner we find Tsunade the better, especially if those two attack again. With Tsunade by my side the odds will be even out, wouldn't you say? Jiraiya said optimistically. I suppose. Someone's coming. I think it's my guy. Naruto tried to say but was too late as the assailant came flying straight at Jiraiya. Dynamic entry. The assailant, now identified as Might Guy, exclaimed as he connected with a devastating straight flying kick right on the jaw of the Toad Sannin, who had just gotten back on his feet after sealing away the black flames, sending the gigantic Sannin flying straight into and through the wall. Naruto-kun! I'm so glad I arrived in time. I came as fast as I could. Guy exclaimed elatedly. Actually, Guy-sensei, you're quite late, very late actually. The Akatsuki are long gone and the guy you just attacked is Jiraiya-sensei. Naruto explained much to Guy's embarrassment. What is the meaning of this, Guy? Jiraiya exclaimed angrily as he came back into the corridor. Jiraiya-sama. Please accept my apologies. I thought you were Uchiha Itachi. Guy apologized profusely. What? We don't even look alike at all, you dimwit! Jiraiya exclaimed furiously. I'm sorry, please forgive me, great Jiraiya Dano. Guy begged comically. Bah! It's fine. Just don't let it happen again, Jiraiya said grumpily, still holding onto his jaw because of the pain, surprised by the sheer speed and power behind the Taijutsu master's attack. Anyway, what are you doing all the way here? How did you know we were under attack, and how did you get here so fast? Jiraiya asked suspiciously. Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame infiltrated the village earlier. My arch-rival Kakashi, Sarutobi Asuma, and Yuhi Kurenai confronted them as they were attempting to leave the village. They were soundly defeated by Itachi alone. Kurenai and Asuma are recovering in the hospital, but Kakashi is in worse condition. He is comatose and not responding to any treatment at all. Doctors say that his neural activity is at an unhealthy low. He has about 2 weeks before he passes on. According to Kurenai-san, Itachi used some kind of genjutsu on him. Guy explained in great detail. Tsukiyomi, that's the name of the ocular genjutsu he used. He did the same thing to his little brother, Uchiha Sasuke. You should take him back to the village quickly to get medical treatment, Naruto, and I will continue with our mission. It is now even more imperative that we find her and return her to the village. If the medics in the village cannot do anything for these two, then Tsunade is the only one who can heal them, Jiraiya explained. Hi. I will immediately return Sasuke-kun to the village, but are the two of you going to be okay on your own? These Akatsuki, they are dangerous even to someone like you, Guy asked with concern. Don't worry about us, we'll be alright. Just focus on your mission, and report everything that has happened to the elders, Jiraiya ordered. Hi. J. Jiraiya-sama. 20 kilometers away, impossible. What is it, Kisame? Itachi asked curiously. It's that brat, the QB brat. I sense his chakra up ahead, Kisame said warily. How far ahead? Itachi asked with narrowed eyes. About a kilometer ahead. It's almost like. No, he's definitely waiting for us, Kisame said disbelievingly. Is there anyone else around him? Itachi asked with a deep frown, not used to dealing with someone whose motives he couldn't strip from them with just a mere glance and whose actions he couldn't predict or comprehend. There's no one else around, none that Samahata and I can sense in any case, Kisame replied. Then let us go and greet him. Lead the way, we'll listen to what he has to say and then take it from there, Itachi ordered. Very well, but I get the feeling that this particular Jinchuriki is going to pose us a lot more problems than he is worth, Kisame said as he led the way to the location of the blonde Uzumaki. Naruto-kun, just who are you exactly? What kind of shinobi are you? Itachi thought, all sorts of questions about the blonde Jinchuriki permeating his mind. Took you long enough, I've been waiting for you the whole day, Naruto said as the Akatsuki pair arrived, not even bothering to turn around and face them, at least not yet. You're a shadow clone, Itachi stated matter-of-factly. Quite impressive, Itachi Dano. You really do live up to your reputation. Kakashi-sensei's and your brother's eyes do not have the ability to see through my shadow clone jutsu, Naruto complimented with sincerity. If this clone has been waiting for us the whole day, then that means that Naruto-kun must have already been aware of us since maybe even before we entered Konoha. It also means that he must have already planned for this eventuality, up to the point of predicting even the path of our retreat. But that's impossible, he would have to be able to see the future itself for him to have planned so far ahead, although I suppose he could have just planned for every possible eventuality. Nevertheless, the time to underestimate Naruto-kun is long past. I have to take him very seriously from now on. He is someone I must approach with the same caution and meticulous preparation as I do Madara and Pain, Itachi thought introspectively. What do you want, brat? Kisame snapped impatiently. To resume our earlier conversation, of course, Naruto said, finally turning around to face his guests. That gunbai on your back, is it a weapon of some sort or is it just for show? Itachi asked curiously, of course, as an Uchiha, knowing very well of a legendary ninja who used to use the same type of weapon. It is a weapon, I use it to supplement my wind-style ninjutsu. Admittedly, I haven't been forced to use it at all since I graduated the exams, but maybe, depending on how these negotiations go, you two will get to see it in action someday, although I hope it will not come to that, Naruto replied honestly. A ninja isn't supposed to give away their secrets like that, Naruto-kun. I thought Kakashi would have taught you better, Itachi chastised. You'll find I'm quite the unconventional ninja as opposed to what you're used to. Sometimes knowing what to expect can be to your detriment as a ninja, you know, because then it means you do not expect the unexpected. Naruto replied cryptically. Stop trying to sound clever and tell us what the hell you want, Kisame said irritably. Take me to your leader, I wish to negotiate with him. As I said earlier, I believe I can remove the Kyuubi from myself without dying. I just need a little more time, Naruto said. What will you do with the Kyuubi once you have removed it? Will you just hand it over to us? Itachi asked warily. Of course not, I'm going to set him free. You guys are still going to have to hunt him down. Then why would we give you the time that you want? There doesn't seem to be anything for us to gain by waiting for you to complete your jutsu, Kisame argued. Are you guys aware of the organization known as the Bloodline? Naruto asked, completely shocking the duo into silence as they absolutely did not expect this turn of events, the two of them wondering what that mysterious organization that even Zetsu and Konan were struggling to monitor had to do with this. I am the leader and founder of that organization, Naruto deadpanned, sending the two Akatsuki partners deeper into their shock-induced silence, even the notoriously stoic Uchiha unable to hide his surprise as his eyes widened to epic proportions. I'm sure you are now beginning to understand the motive behind these negotiations. If you attack me, you risk war with the Bloodline. Trust me, it is a war you will not win, and even in the event that you do win it, the losses you will take will be to such an extent that the Akatsuki will inevitably cease to exist as an organization. My comrades are very protective of me, as am I of them. They will hunt you to the ends of the earth to avenge me, and vice versa. Naruto explained, taking a momentary pause to allow the information to sink in before carrying on from where he left off. Having said that, I would rather avoid conflict with the Akatsuki. The Bloodline has no interest in the Bijou and will not interfere with your goals, and once I remove the Kyuubi, there will be no need for the Bloodline and the Akatsuki to come to conflict. There will be no need for us to interact at all. A war will waste both our time and unnecessarily deplete our human and financial resources. A peace treaty, however, will serve both our needs. So what do you say? Will you let me speak to your leader? Naruto asked politely. No, we will not let you speak to leader, but we will pass on your message, Itachi declared. So now meeting their leader is a no-no, even though earlier he agreed to take me to his leader? I guess he told the original whatever he needed to get him to go with them. But since I'm a clone, then there is no value in tricking me into accompanying them. Clone Naruto thought analytically. How will I know what your leader has decided? Naruto asked, not bothering to point out the inconsistencies in the genocidal Uchiha's response. Our intelligence officer also serves as our messenger. In all likelihood he will be sent to deliver the message, failing of which then assume that negotiations have failed. Kisame replied. Very well then, I look forward to hearing from your messenger, Naruto said before disappearing in a puff of smoke. That was quite disturbing. This Uzumaki Naruto is quite a peculiar Jinchuriki, isn't he? He is more like his father than we initially thought. He could grow up to be quite a thorn on our side. A plant-like man said as his body protruded from a nearby tree, the man appearing to have a Venus flytrap around his upper body and a face and body with two different colors and two different personalities and voices, almost as if two different people had been merged together. The man was also wearing an Akatsuki cloak and uniform but did not seem to be carrying any obvious weaponry on himself. More like his father? You know the little shit's father? Who is he? Kisame asked with a small frown. The late Yondaime Hokage Namake's Minato, otherwise known as the Yellow Flash of Konoha. Zetsu replied, much to Kisame's surprise, but also embarrassment as it now seemed so obvious in hindsight. After all Jinchuriki were related to a Kage in one way or another or some important figure of a ninja village, and not to mention the obvious resemblance that the blonde Jinchuriki had to the man. Itachi? Did you know this all along? Kisame asked indignantly. Well, he does look like a carbon copy of Yondaime-sama after all, Itachi replied simply, doing extremely well to hide his surprise that Akatsuki were privy even to that secret despite the lengths that Konoha had gone to keep that particular secret hidden. Although in that same breath he just couldn't figure out why he was even surprised at all that Madara knew, especially since he knew that Madara had something to do with the Kyuubi attack 12 years ago. I will deliver the message to leader and report back to you, or maybe leader might summon you. Knowing him, he'll probably want your input in the decision-making process. He is a very meticulous man, Zetsu said in a dual voice, almost as if someone who was possessed by a demon was speaking. Very well, we will await your return. In the meantime we will continue to head north in order to recuperate while we wait for further instruction. Come, Kisame, let us head out, Itachi ordered, Kisame loyally following the orders of his partner, for now that was to say, after all, This is the same man who had killed all of his previous comrades for one reason or another, therefore, as far as he was concerned, it wasn't a stretch for him to imagine that one day he might find himself in a position where he felt obliged to kill his partner for whatever reason that might present itself in the future. 0. What do you think about all of this, Pain? Madara asked with a deep and sinister tone of voice. He is a man of average height, slightly on the tall side, wearing an orange mask with a spiral pattern and only one eye hole on the right side of the mask. He has short and black spiky hair and is also wearing the standard Akatsuki uniform. He was in a meeting at the top level of the tallest building in Amigakure no Sato, with 3 other individuals in a meeting with him, namely, Pain, Zetsu, and Konan. Uzumaki Naruto, huh? He certainly is a peculiar one. Pain trailed off thoughtfully. He is also on the tall side, with a body built for both speed and power. He has orange spiky hair and metal gray/purple eyes with a ring pattern around the pupils, the famed and mythical Rinnegan of the Sage of the Six Paths. He has metallic piercings all over his face, consisting of 3 stubs across his nose, a elaborate piercing below his lips, and 3 piercings on each one of his ears. Like all members of the Akatsuki, he is wearing a long black cloak with red clouds on it, blue ninja pants, and white leg warmers. There doesn't seem to be any obvious weaponry on his person, and he is also wearing blue ninja sandals. You cannot seriously be thinking about accepting this farce of a deal, are you, Pain? Konan asked in a monotone, although Pain, and only Pain, could sense the incredulity in her tone. She is an extremely beautiful woman, almost angel-like in beauty, spotting dark blue hair and orange eyes along with the most smooth and creamy skin one can imagine. Even though she is wearing the traditional Akatsuki cloak, one can still easily tell that she has the most beautiful and perfectly conditioned body. Like her partner and leader, there doesn't seem to be any obvious weaponry on her person, whether that being because the weapons are hidden or she has no use for any being another story entirely. As a matter of fact, I am quite curious to see if Uzumaki Naruto will succeed or not, and if he does, then perhaps he could create for us a precedence for how we deal with Jinchuriki in the future. I imagine there is bound to be quite a handful of Jinchuriki who would willingly part with their tenants if they knew that death didn't await them at the end of the extraction. Pain replied. What guarantee do you have that the Uzumaki child will share the secrets of his jutsu with us? Konan questioned. We could simply employ him to provide the service for us. Or better yet, we could extend to him an invitation to join the Akatsuki. If he is no longer a Jinchuriki, then there is no longer a need for conflict between the 2 organizations. The fact that he reached out to us in the way that he did means that he is a person who values peace above all else. He would rather try to solve problems peacefully than to resort to outright war. If he refuses to share his secrets, then he will be faced with the situation he tried to avoid in the first place, where Akatsuki and the Bloodline go to war with each other. The only way for him to prevent that will be to share the secrets of his jutsu with us, or join us. Pain explained his plan in detail. That seems like a very reasonable plan. What do you think, Madara-sama? Zetsu asked. I do not believe Akatsuki should negotiate or compromise when it comes to the Jinchuriki, and I do not believe we should allow Uzumaki Naruto any leeway or time. He is the son of Uzumaki Kushina and Namikaze Minato. His potential is therefore quite honestly terrifying. I believe we should strike now with the full force of Akatsuki, while he is still young and weak. Relatively speaking, of course, Madara stated. And where and how do you propose we contain the Kyuubi while we are collecting the other bijou? Need I remind you that we can only seal the Kyuubi last into the statue? Konan asked condescendingly, causing Madara to narrow his lone visible eye slightly at the disrespectful tone in Konan's voice. Very well, do as you please, but let it not be said that I didn't warn you, Pain. If Naruto becomes a problem, I will expect you to personally deal with him, Madara said as he disappeared into a space-time vacuum that seemed to originate from his lone visible eye. He doesn't seem very pleased. I'll go and make sure he doesn't do anything rash, Zetsu said as he sunk into the floor and disappeared completely, disappearing both physically and in terms of the presence of his chakra. Are you sure about this, Pain? Konan asked with concern. I am. Even if Uzumaki Naruto cannot be intimidated into sharing his jutsu or joining the Akatsuki, the fact that war with the Bloodline will be prevented is a good thing. It allows us to continue with our mission unhindered. That is a very good thing, Konan, more than any of you realize as of yet, Pain replied. I see. Well, in any case, you have my full support no matter how things turn out. Konan affirmed her loyalty and commitment. I know. 0. What? I always knew you were an idiot, but you really have taken your stupidity to a whole new level if you think I'm going back to that god-forsaken village, Jiraiya. Tsunade exclaimed indignantly, stunning everyone in the bar into silence with her outburst, the restaurant owner getting angry at her as he was about to kick her out of the establishment, until of course he realized who exactly it was that had made that outburst, quickly, and wisely deciding to pretend that he didn't hear anything. Tsunade is a very beautiful woman with long blonde hair, and the biggest breasts that Naruto could honestly say that he had ever seen. She appeared to be in perfect physical condition, with all the curves in all the right places, a very attractive woman indeed as opposed to the old hag that most people expected to see when hearing the name Senju Tsunade. The village needs you, Tsunade. It's time to take your rightful position as Godame Hokage. The reason Dan and Nawaki couldn't bear that necklace was because it was meant for you all along. Don't you see? You were the one destined to succeed your grandfather, you were the one destined to become Hokage. Jiraiya said with conviction. I'm never going back to that hellhole, Tsunade said eventually, which was quite disappointing really as it had appeared as though she was seriously considering the Toad Sannin's words. Can you stop making things difficult for us for just 1 second, old lady? What did you call me, you little snot-nosed brat? Jiraiya, where did you get this suicidal kid from anyway? Tsunade snapped, cutting Naruto off before he could even finish speaking as she released a large spike of killing intent. Listen here, old lady, we don't have time for your nonsense. Stop acting like a child and come with us. It's really simple, you either come with us willingly, or we take you by force. It's time to pay your dues to the village. Naruto stated matter-of-factly, seemingly making light of the difficulty involved in making a Sannin do anything against their will. Ha! Take me by force? I'd like to see you try. Shizen would manhandle you long before you even got close to me. Tsunade said dismissively, a foreboding feeling settling into the pit of her stomach when she saw what appeared to be the look of evil incarnate on Naruto's facial features. How much are you willing to bet on that? Are you willing to put returning to the village and taking the mantle of Hokage on the line? Let's say, if I lose, I'll accept responsibility for the entirety of the debt that you have managed to amass up to this point, and if I win, you come back to Konoha and become Godame Hokage. Sounds like a reasonable deal, doesn't it? Naruto asked with a devious smirk. You've got yourself a deal, Tsunade said with stars in her eyes, internally rejoicing at the opportunity of duping this poor, naive kid that Jiraiya brought with him, the foreboding feeling she felt just now completely forgotten as her heart did a number of flip-flops, a very premature victory lap taking place inside her mind and heart. 0. Shizen is a Jonin-level ninja who has been apprenticed to a Sannin for about a decade and a half. Normally a genin like Naruto wouldn't stand a chance, it's no wonder Tsunade was so quick to take the deal. However, what she doesn't know is just how abnormal a situation this is. We are talking about a genin here who has victories over the copy ninja Hatake Kakashi, and the demon of the mist Momochi Zabuza. Shizen is pretty much guaranteed to lose this matchup. Jiraiya thought from the sidelines as he and Tsunade waited with bated breath for their students to essentially beat each other up, the two of them having found a suitable place outside the village for their respective apprentices to duel. Nevertheless, this situation has presented me with an interesting opportunity. I'll finally be able to get a glimpse of what Naruto is truly capable of. Jiraiya thought with anticipation. Shizen Nachan, this loss is not a reflection of your skill or prowess as a ninja, rather, it is a reflection of mine. So don't take it personally, okay? Naruto said with an arrogant but also playful smirk. I never underestimate an opponent, and I know what it means to be trained by a Sannin, so don't expect to catch me by surprise, Naruto-kun. I'm prepared for anything and everything, Shizen said with a determined look in her eyes. You're definitely not prepared for this though, Naruto thought as he formed an abnormally small Rasengan on his right hand, much to the shock and surprise of Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Shizen, but for different reasons. Shizen and Tsunade were shocked by the fact that Naruto was even able to form that jutsu at such a young age, as they could clearly recognize it as the Yondaime Hokage's jutsu, the one that Jiraiya also used a lot. Jiraiya on the other hand was shocked by just how small it was, as he had seen Naruto form a normal-sized Rasengan after he taught him the jutsu. So it came as a surprise to him that Naruto would make such a small Rasengan, even if he wasn't going for the kill. The Rasengan jutsu? Impressive, Naruto-kun. You must be some kind of genius to be able to form such an advanced jutsu, even if it seems to be lacking in size and power. You'll get better over time for sure, but you're not ready to take on someone like me yet. For one, what is even the point of forming that jutsu at such a distance? Wouldn't it have been wiser to get close to me first before forming the jutsu? You've just eliminated the element of SERP. Shizen trailed off in surprise as Naruto did the unthinkable, actually throwing the Rasengan at his opponent, as it came flying towards Shizen at a fast but not too fast pace. He threw the Rasengan. But how? Jiraiya thought in amazement, said amazement however turning into disappointment shortly after as the Rasengan seemed to fade away. It faded? Did he not have enough chakra to maintain it, or did he not have enough control? Nevertheless, I have never heard of anyone throwing the Rasengan before, not even the fourth himself. Shizen thought as she prepared to launch her own attack and quickly end this charade of a battle. Baka! What the hell do you think you're doing? How many years do you think I've trained with the Rasengan? Don't you think I've already tried to? Jiraiya trailed off in shock, eyes wide and mouth hanging as he looked on in astonishment, watching in awe as Shizen was suddenly blasted away by an incredible force, her entire body spinning around uncontrollably as she was flung away at a rapid velocity, crashing violently on the surface as a huge crater formed where she landed, a great distance away. What the hell just happened? Was it an enemy attack? Tsunade asked, frantically looking around for any signs of an enemy. There is no enemy attack. That was my vanishing Rasengan making contact with Shizen Neichan. It is, as the name suggests, a Rasengan that vanishes and reappears on contact with the enemy. It is a great assassination attack, don't you think? Do not worry though, as you could probably tell by the size of it, it was a severely powered down Rasengan. Shizen Neichan will live. Naruto explained clearly and concisely. Vanishing Rasengan? How the heck did you pull that off? How did you get it to fly in the first place, much less to make it vanish? Jiraiya asked in astonishment. The Rasengan is fused with my wind element. Naruto deadpanned. More importantly, you have lost the bet, Tsunade-dano. I won't allow you to go back on your word. Your student has been defeated. You will return to the village, and you will become the Godame Hokage. Naruto said with a deathly serious tone. Go. Your student is in need of your medical expertise. The vanishing Rasengan is more powerful than the normal Rasengan, therefore even one as small as the one I just used could have fatal consequences. We will leave as soon as Shizen Neichan is well enough to travel. Naruto barked out orders, almost as if he was the senior member of the present shinobi even though he only held the status of a mere genin, having forfeited at the beginning of his would-be fight with Hyuga Niji at the finals of the Chunin exams, a decision that was met with boos and protests from the fans who had been looking forward to seeing the Hyuga genius put in a swooping on the demon child. You better not have killed her, otherwise she definitely won't come back with us, Jiraiya said as he watched Tsunade run after Shizen with a worried look on her face. On top of the fact that I held back as much as I could, she is the best medical ninja in the elemental nations. If Shizen Neichan dies even under those circumstances, then I'm really going to have to question her will to live. Naruto retorted. You're very cold and cynical, you're nothing like your. Jiraiya caught himself just before he could spill the beans that he didn't know had already been spilled about half a decade ago, give or take. My what? Naruto asked, feigning ignorance. Your late sibling apprentice. Jiraiya replied eventually, sweating bullets as he hoped Naruto wouldn't see through his slip-up. You mean the Yandame Hokage? Namake's Minatoha? He was a beloved and respected figure in the village, a great ninja for sure. In many ways I look to him, he has set the bar very high, and I hope to one day surpass him. I respect that guy a great deal. Naruto said with a somber tone, Jiraiya looking at Naruto in surprise as he hadn't seen this side of the blonde Uzumaki, feeling like, for the first time in a while, that there was hope for his godson after all, a sentiment that unfortunately couldn't be any further from the truth, as he would find out in the not-too-distant future. Dead bone pulse. Sasuke, what's this I hear about you not wanting to talk to anyone? They say you chased everyone out and refused to talk unless I came over to see you? Honestly, I'm baffled. I didn't think that you liked me that much. I didn't think you liked me at all. Naruto said, scratching the back of his head sheepishly. What happened to Itachi? How did you survive? Why was he after you? Sasuke demanded to know, not caring about anything else right at that moment except for the answers to his questions, a large dose of anger and envy radiating off of him in waves. So that's why you called me? I figured as much, Naruto said with a twinkle in his eye, causing Sasuke to grit his teeth in anger and irritation. Just answer me. Sasuke snapped impatiently. Well, Jiraiya-sensei drove them off with the toad mouth bind jutsu. It didn't really seem they were in that much of a bind though, it seemed. Way too easy, too good to be true in fact. Naruto replied cryptically. Why were they after you? Sasuke demanded with a sense of entitlement, as if the blonde Uzumaki had no choice but to answer his questions, which of course couldn't be any further away from the truth. You remember what I told you guys during the wave mission, don't you, about my demon? Naruto asked rhetorically. So, Itachi wants the 9 tails? He wants to further boost his power by controlling the 9 tails with his eyes? In other words, they're not exactly after you per se, just the thing that is inside of you. Sasuke asked rhetorically, almost breathing a sigh of relief as it appeared as if a huge load had just been lifted off of his shoulders. You don't have to sound so relieved, you know. Getting a bijou ripped out of you means almost certain death. Besides, we don't even know what the Akatsuki want with the bijou now, do we? According to our intel, there are approximately 9 members in the organization, which just so happens to be the same number of bijou. Naruto trailed off, leaving the rest for Sasuke to put 2 and 2 together on his own. Where did he even get that kind of intel? Sasuke pondered, although deciding not to bother to ask the blonde Uzumaki, figuring that it was probably intel he got from Jiraiya, and if it wasn't, if it was from another source, then Naruto would probably not be in any way whatsoever interested in sharing said source with him, or anyone for that matter. Are you suggesting that each member will get their very own bijou? Sasuke asked, almost certain that this was a line of questioning for which the dobe would have no reservations about answering truthfully. I'm saying it's a possibility, and if it is the case, then I'd imagine Itachi would be a whole lot more difficult for you to defeat with a bijou enhancing his already amazing physical gifts. Naruto explained. Becoming the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, or any other bijou for that matter, would likely mean an instant cure for his illness, and would probably stop the degeneration of his eyesight, and also repair his eyesight indefinitely. Naruto thought internally, having sensed from Itachi's chakra frequency that he was terminally ill and also knowing from knowledge gained from Kabuto about the effects of the Manjiko Sharingan, knowledge that Kabuto himself gained from Orochimaru. Becoming a Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, however, is something that has not been done by an Uchiha before. Even Uchiha Madara didn't dare attempt it. Still, this is only half of the Kyuubi, therefore only half as strong as the original Kyuubi. I suppose it could be possible for an Uchiha to become the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. There's also no guarantee that Itachi will choose or be given permission to become the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. He could get any other bijou for all we know, that is, of course, if provided the Akatsuki don't have an entirely different plan for the bijou other than becoming Jinchuriki themselves. Naruto thought warily. Naruto's right. Itachi is already miles ahead of me, 1,000,000 miles ahead of me. If he gets the power of a bijou, then he will be impossible to defeat. But Jiraiya defeated Gaara and the one-tailed bijou, and he forced Itachi and Kisame to retreat, 2 S-ranked ninja, and Itachi of all people. These Sannin, they must really be something else if just one of them is capable of such feats. Even Orochimaru was able to defeat and kill the Sandaime Hokage. Naruto is powerful already, and he is now being trained by one such Sannin. Perhaps I should take Orochimaru's offer after all. Sasuke thought, frowning deeply in concentration as he weighed his options. I wonder what's going on in that head of yours. You better not be thinking about joining that snake freak. He's only interested in taking over your body, you know. Naruto said perceptively, Sasuke's eyes widening in surprise at how accurately the blonde Uzumaki was able to read him. Is it that obvious? Am I that predictable? Sasuke wondered. Patience is a virtue, Sasuke. It's not just about becoming strong enough to defeat Itachi, you also need to have the necessary battle experience to do it. You could become stronger than him and still lose soundly because of your haste and lack of experience. You can't just go charging at him recklessly like you did the other time. Controlled aggression is what you need. You also must not allow your hate to dictate and control your actions. You must use hate as a weapon, not the other way around. Naruto advised sagely. What the hell do you know? Don't talk down to me like you know anything, you low-life peasant. You never had a family, you were orphaned from the start. You don't know what it is like to have everything and then be forced to watch over and over and over and over as all of it is taken away from you. You don't know what it is like to be betrayed by the person you loved and admired the most. Don't talk to me like you know anything. Sasuke exclaimed maniacally, breathing heavily from his efforts, as if he had just run a marathon. It's true, Sasuke. I never had any family from the start, so I couldn't possibly fathom how you must have felt, or must feel day in and day out as you walk your path on this cursed world. However, I'm not entirely ignorant. I know what it feels like to be betrayed by the person you loved and admired the most. I know that feeling all too well. Naruto trailed off as he thought about the Sandaime Hokage and his hate and despise for the man who betrayed and deceived him in the worst way possible. Who? Huh? Was Naruto's intellectual response, just now broken from his musings by Sasuke's voice. Who is the person you loved and admired, the person who betrayed you? Sasuke asked curiously, said curiosity turning into surprise and wariness as Naruto quickly went through a number of hand seals before activating a barrier around the hospital room that they were in. What did you just do? Sasuke asked confusedly. Privacy barrier. It prevents anyone from spying on us whether via ocular or auditory sensation. In other words, no one can see or hear us right now. Naruto explained, Sasuke involuntarily swallowing a huge lump, Naruto's behavior right now honestly making him nervous as he wondered whether he was about to be murdered or what the hell was happening right now. What's going on, Naruto? Sasuke asked nervously, although doing well to hide just how much he actually was scared right at that moment. The person I loved and admired a lot was the Sandaime Hokage. Naruto deadpanned, Sasuke's eyes widening in surprise as he couldn't fathom at all why Naruto would hate such a kind and beloved figure. You seem surprised? But try to imagine the Itachi you knew before his betrayal, and compare him to the Itachi you know him to be now. I'd imagine there must be a very profound contrast, right? Naruto asked rhetorically, Sasuke's eyes widening as he began to understand what Naruto was getting at. You're saying that the kind old man that we all know does not exist? That it was just a persona that he maintained? Sasuke asked disbelievingly. Exactly. Sasuke, you have seen the kind of life I have lived, have you not? What you probably don't know is that, just like Gaara, I faced multiple assassination attempts on my life growing up, to the point that I was hospitalized almost every week. My extreme regenerative abilities are the only reason I am still alive as it is. This all happened under the Sandaime Hokage's watch too. Growing up as an orphan, living alone, raising myself with a small monthly stipend, a stipend that was absolutely worthless because everyone charges the demon brat 4 to 5 times the usual prices or outright refuses to sell to him. Tell me, Sasuke, do you think that is the kind of life anyone, much less the son of the Sandaime Hokage who sacrificed his life for the village, should have to live? Naruto asked rhetorically. As son of the Sandaime? Sasuke stuttered incoherently, everything starting to make sense now, Sasuke wondering how the hell he hadn't been able to see the resemblance until this very moment as he stared at the blonde Uzumaki with a dumbfounded expression. No wonder he's so strong. All this time I've been beating myself up for being outdone by a nobody, and all this time he was practically royalty in Konoha, no, in the entire ninja world. Sasuke thought irritably, struggling very hard to suppress the urge to strangle the blonde Uzumaki to death right then and there. Not just that, but last known living member of the great Uzumaki clan of the Whirlpool Tides. Naruto added. The what? Sasuke asked incredulously. It's no surprise you don't know about them, why would you? We have been erased from history. The Sandaime Hokage went to great lengths to ensure that. Just know that the Uzumaki were a clan with a reputation and legacy similar to that of the Uchiha and the Senju. Our specialty were the sealing and barrier arts, but that was not all there was to us, of course. Our other traits were chakra, sensory, and perception, and we have an unnaturally strong life force, to the point that many members of our clan can live up to between 2 to 4 times the lifespan of a normal human. Our chakra reserves are quite frankly ridiculous. The most uncommon thing you will find is an Uzumaki running out of chakra in a battle. We also have great healing and regeneration and great physical strength and durability. That's not even the end of it, we also have special chakra properties that allow us to tame and control Bijou, which is why all 3 of Konoha's Jinchuriki have hailed from the Uzumaki clan. The first one was the Shodaime Hokage's wife, Uzumaki Mido, the second one was the Yandaime Hokage's wife, my mother, Uzumaki Kushina, and then I became the next Jinchuriki. Naruto explained in great detail, Sasuke feeling like his head was about to pop because of the information overload. Of course I knew nothing of this, I was made to believe I was just a nobody, in order to make it easier to be manipulated and controlled. I was made to suffer loneliness and isolation, so that I can become needy and dependent. I was being groomed to become the Sandaime Hokage's puppet, the village's puppet. Kabuto-sensei saved me from that fate. Naruto explained. Kabuto? That lame dweeb from the exams who failed 7 times? Sasuke asked incredulously. Haha. That Kabuto-sensei, he really is the ultimate spy, isn't he? Sasuke, Kabuto-sensei is a very strong and capable ninja. A fight between him and Kakashi-sensei would be a 50-50. In fact, he was beating our new Hokage and her assistant handily before I intervened. Of course, one can argue that Tsunade Dano has been inactive for too long and was probably rusty, plus she had also developed hemophobia, a condition that Kabuto-sensei was also able to exploit, but still, it should tell you something that a Sannin and a Jonin were put at a considerable disadvantage against him. Also, both Tsunade Dano and Jiraiya-sensei said that he is at least Kakashi level, so there's that too. Naruto explained, valiantly defending his sensei's honor. ISC. Sasuke trailed off, unable to believe just how upside down his worldview had been up until this very moment. Was he just living under an illusion all this time? What else was he misunderstanding? What else were his eyes unable to see? But Kabuto is a traitor, is he not? Is he not working with Orochimaru? I heard he tried to assassinate me when I was hospitalized. Sasuke asked confusedly. Kabuto helped Orochimaru, and I helped Kabuto-sensei, so I guess that makes me a traitor too, huh? But everyone has their reasons. Just as the leaf betrayed me and my family first, it used and betrayed Kabuto-sensei too, but that is a story for another day. Naruto cautioned Sasuke from passing judgment prematurely. Why are you telling me all of this? Sasuke asked warily. Because you are in the same boat as us, Sasuke. What you don't understand is that Itachi didn't just murder your entire clan, it was his mission to murder your entire clan, a mission from the Konoha higher-ups. What? Sasuke stuttered, shock, disbelief, and denial permeable on his facial features, Naruto taking a deep breath as he explained to Sasuke everything he knew of the events that lead to the Uchiha massacre, all the way from the history of the clan dating back to Madara's era, to the moment that Itachi betrayed and slaughtered the clan. Kabuto-sensei, you really are the ultimate spy, this information has been very useful. Naruto thought with a sinister smirk as he watched his teammate unravel right in front of his eyes. It wasn't random at all, the nature of this conversation. Sasuke didn't know this, but the reason Naruto hasn't been present when he woke up was because he was yet again going through a rigorous interrogation. Kabuto had slipped up when Naruto, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Shizen clashed with him and his master, Orochimaru, probably intentionally, Naruto suspected. He'd referred to Naruto as his student, taunting Jiraiya about the fact that Naruto was powerful not because of Jiraiya, but because of him. Saying as Kabuto was a traitor working with and loyal to Konoha's worst and most hated enemy, then it stands to reason that Naruto would also become an object of suspicion, hence the interrogation upon his return. Naruto knew that the walls were closing in now, and he knew that Kabuto had made it so and had been completely aware of what the outcome of his actions would be. However, Naruto had prepared for this eventuality, and his plan was rather simple: tell Sasuke the truth about the Uchiha massacre. Undoubtedly this would lead to Sasuke's defection, and most likely Sasuke would run to Orochimaru. This would shift the focus completely from Naruto and towards Sasuke, the last member of the Uchiha clan. Konoha had enough enemies as it was. Having another Uchiha as an enemy, and also losing the last living Uchiha member would be a big blow to them. They wouldn't be able to afford to further isolate their only resident Jinchuriki after that kind of loss coupled with their losses during the war. Sasuke's defection would certainly take a lot of heat off of his shoulders, and in fact Konoha would direct a lot of that heat towards Orochimaru, and by extension, Kabuto-sensei. Wait. Is it possible that Kabuto-sensei was counting on me reacting this way so that they can get Sasuke to join Orochimaru sooner? Hey Kabuto, you sly bastard. You really played me, didn't you, sensei? Naruto thought amusedly, almost certain that Kabuto must have foreseen this eventuality. After all, no one knew him better than his own sensei. Well, I guess I'll just have to hope Sasuke has some sort of plan himself to avoid being taken over by that snake freak. He has a 3-Tamo Sharingan, and unlike Kakashi, he is a full-blooded Uchiha. He just needs experience now and to continue to grow physically. Naruto thought somewhat casually given everything that was at stake. The only dilemma Naruto was having was with regards to Sasuke's cursed seal. He could remove the part of Orochimaru's soul that was sealed into the curse seal and unlock the seal so that Sasuke can access to the Stage 2 version. That would make Sasuke considerably stronger, and... of course! How could I have been so stupid? If I help Sasuke to achieve full curse mode level 2, then he won't need to join Orochimaru. He can just leave and go on his own way. But... if he doesn't join Orochimaru, he will be hunted by both Konoha and Odogekure. Will he be able to survive that? No. Actually, that's the kind of struggle he needs in order to develop and become stronger, strong enough to beat Itachi. Also, the experience he will gain by eluding and fighting Hunter Nin will be vital for that inevitable showdown. Naruto thought analytically, quickly making his decision right then and there. Also, this will perhaps get Orochimaru off my case too. He'll be too busy running after Sasuke to come after me. Who knows, maybe Sasuke can take both Orochimaru and Itachi off of the table for me. Naruto thought with a sinister glint in his eyes. Listen to me, Sasuke. Itachi is no saint. It may have been a mission, but Itachi still chose to kill his entire family. I would have never made that choice. Family comes first, no matter what. Naruto said with conviction, shocking Sasuke out of his reverie. Why are you telling me all of this? Sasuke asked suspiciously, tears now free falling from his eyes. It would be hypocritical of me to hate and conspire to have the Sandaime killed for keeping secrets, and lying to me only for me to do the same thing to you, wouldn't it? Naruto asked rhetorically. In any case, Sasuke, that seal on your neck, I helped Orochimaru and Kabuto to develop and refine it. I know how to help you to master it, to unlock version 2 of the seal. It will make you considerably more powerful, and you will be able to use it without feeling pain and discomfort. I don't know what you're going to do, if you're going to remain loyal to Konoha or if you're going to defect after hearing the truth, but whatever decision you make, you're going to need this power for sure. We're going to do that now quickly. When I'm done, you'll be able to access the full power of that seal without the adverse side effects. Naruto explained hastily. Why are you helping me? Sasuke asked suspiciously. Itachi is also my enemy. But if I kill him myself, assuming I can kill him, then you would probably turn your hate towards me. I'm not trying to get in the way of your revenge, and I also realize that Itachi's death is to both our benefit. That's why I'm helping you. Also, I sympathize with your plight. Konoha really has done a number on us and our families. Naruto replied. I see. Sasuke trailed off thoughtfully. Are you ready? Do I have your permission to start? Naruto asked. Let's do this. Sasuke replied eventually, with a conviction so strong that Naruto thought it was almost going to manifest a physical body. Okay then. But before we start, let me just say, no matter how strong you are, remember that Itachi also has comrades, and so does Orochimaru. Itachi has Kisame and also the rest of Akatsuki, Orochimaru has Kabuto-sensei, and the rest of Otogekyu knows Sado. You're going to need to find yourself some talented comrades to aid you. No man is an island, Sasuke. Naruto advised, as everything he was doing would amount to absolutely zero if Sasuke got captured and or killed before he could kill Itachi. Okay, but what are you going to do? Are you going to stay here despite everything? Sasuke asked curiously. I'm going to leave, but not just yet. I have my own plans and my own path to walk, as do you. Perhaps our paths will converge at some point. Life is strange that way. Nevertheless, if you are also planning to leave, I hope you are prepared for what is to come. You remember the life that Zabuza and Haku lived, right? It's not an easy life at all. I'm prepared to go through any kind of hell to get my revenge on Itachi, and then I'll come after Konoha, Sasuke said vengefully. Well, that's what I wanted to hear. I hope you succeed, Sasuke. Do all the dirty work for me. Naruto thought with a mental smirk. Very well then, let us begin. 2 months later, everything had gone according to plan. Sasuke had stayed longer than Naruto had anticipated, but it wasn't a train smash. In fact, his reason for staying in Konoha for a whole month before defecting had been a smart one, as Sasuke wanted to train thoroughly with the Curse Seal and master the powers of the seal before defecting. Naruto had also been invited for a few sparring sessions, particularly for Kenjutsu practice, as Sasuke had decided to learn his father's scrolls on the Uchiha clan's Kenjutsu sword techniques. It was amusing to Naruto how shocked Sasuke was to find out that his gunbai was actually an unbreakable Kenjutsu weapon that could be used both to deflect attacks and to slice through opponents by funneling Futon chakra into the gunbai. It could also be used, of course, for brute force, as it was a weapon used to inflict blunt force trauma when Naruto wasn't funneling wind-release chakra into it. The strength and durability of the gun by a result of the strength-enhancing sealing jutsu that Naruto had applied on the weapon. There were many other attributes to Naruto's gunbai that Naruto hadn't revealed to Sasuke, but even the small little things he did reveal were enough to leave the young Uchiha both awed and envious. Nevertheless, Sasuke had shown incredible improvement over the month in all categories. His speed in taijutsu, his kenjutsu, and his proficiency with the Sharingan grew rapidly, and that was without accessing any of the Curse Seal levels. Once he accessed those, he became a serious problem. In fact, Naruto was quite certain that, at his current level, Sasuke could defeat each of the Sound 3 that he faced in the second part of the Chunin exams in one-on-one battles quite comfortably. He wasn't sure if Sasuke could defeat all 3 of them at the same time like he himself did though, but he was sure that by the end of the year Sasuke would be capable of that feat if he carried on growing at this rate, heck, maybe even by the end of the current month. Nevertheless, it had been 2 weeks now since Sasuke's defection. Well, actually it had been 4 weeks. But, per Naruto's suggestion, Sasuke had left a reinforced shadow clone behind that had lasted 2 weeks. It had been easy for the clone to last that long because it didn't do any strenuous activity whatsoever, content to just be seen walking around the village and going for long, non-chakra-infused jogs around the village. By the time the shadow clone dispelled, 2 weeks later, Sasuke had been long gone and there were no traces of him left for any of the Inuzuka or Aburaim trackers to follow. Chakra sensors were obviously out of the question too, as Sasuke was already long gone, and they didn't know his specific chakra signature anyway. The village was in a panic, and Naruto loved every second of it. Everyone was too busy fussing over the disappearance of the now rogue Uchiha to care one way or another about him, or what he was up to. However, it appeared as though someone clearly didn't get the memo, as Naruto had felt a strong chakra trailing him since dawn. The person was trying to keep themselves hidden, but Naruto was just too good of a chakra sensor, and the person's chakra was incredibly strong too, stronger than any chakra he had encountered thus far in Konoha. His or her reserves were also insanely high too. This person, whoever he or she was, Naruto could honestly say that he wasn't too enthusiastic about fighting them, but he also recognized that he didn't have a choice. That's why he was deep within the forest of death right now. Whoever this person was, it was probably better to fight them in a place that he knew well, but also in a place where their fight, regardless of the outcome, would not be disturbed. The last thing he needed was to draw attention to himself after working so hard to lift the pressure off of him. "You may come out now," Naruto said to no one in particular, although the fact that he was looking straight at the direction that the assailant was hiding told the assailant that his cover had been blown. Nevertheless, having come with prior intel, the assailant had already known that his cover was likely blown a long time ago, as he was informed that his target was a strong sensory type. "Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. Prepare yourself, I'm here to assassinate you," a tall boy said as he came out from behind a large tree that he had been hiding behind. The boy looked like a teenager, possibly around 15 years of age give or take. His body looked tall and strong, but also built in a sort of lithe way, a body built for strength and brute force, but also for speed and agility. He had long white hair and 2 dots on his forehead, and he also had a pale but smooth skin tone. His outfit, however, more specifically, the purple rope tied around his waist, made it obvious to Naruto that this guy had connections to Orochimaru, more specifically, connections to Orochimaru's Sound 5 elite guard. "You know, it's not much of an assassination if you just walk out and announce your intentions like that," Naruto replied casually. "Kagaya Kimimaro, right? I can tell by your appearance. The fact that you're here must mean that Kabuto was finally able to cure you. It also must mean he was too late, otherwise you would have been devoured by Orochimaru. You were his desired vessel if I am not mistaken," Naruto said matter-of-factly. "Orochimaru-sama was right, you know too much. You are a loose end that needs to be stitched up or cut off." "Which one will it be, Namikaze?" Kimimaro asked with a threatening undertone. "This is bad, really bad. This guy, according to Kabuto-sensei, was instrumental to the success of the Yondaime Kazekage's assassination. In fact, Kabuto-sensei is of the belief that the Konoha invasion would have been a complete success had this guy been healthy and present for the invasion. This guy is hella strong, this isn't going to be easy at all," Naruto thought warily. "Join you or die, huh? Well, I choose either, of course. If anything, I have a counter-offer for you. Why not join me? You are just the kind of candidate that we look for in the Bloodline. I also happen to be the only member who doesn't have a partner. It would make me happy to have a member of our sibling clan as a trusted ally." Naruto counter-offered, much to Kimimaro's surprise, not just about the offer itself, but also surprised by Naruto's insinuation that there was some kind of blood relation between them. "What are you talking about?" Kimimaro asked simply, but curiously. "People talk about the progenitor of ninjutsu, the sage of the 6 paths, Akatsuki Hagoromo, but they never talk about his brother, Akatsuki Himura. Kimimaro, the Kagaya clan, the Uzumaki clan, and the Hyuga clan all descend from one Akatsuki Himura. He had 3 children, who would later become the Uzumaki, Kagaya, and Hyuga clans. The Hyuga, obviously, inherited his ocular powers, the Kagaya clan inherited his body, and the Uzumaki inherited his chakra and life force, and also his talent for Fuinjutsu AMD barrier ninjutsu. In other words, Kimimaro, you and I should be working together, not against each other," Naruto said with conviction. "If the Kagaya, Hyuga, and Uzumaki descend from Himura, then who descended from Hagoromo?" Kimimaro asked, letting his curiosity get the better of him. Besides, he figured this kind of information might come in handy, as in, Orochimaru-sama might have use for this kind of information. "The Senju and the Uchiha clan, of course," Naruto said as if it was the most obvious thing in the world, Kimimaro on the other hand growing in confusion. "Based on the confusion on your face, I'm guessing you already knew, or are suspecting that Orochimaru is trying to recreate the power of the Sage of the 6 Paths." In which case, you're probably wondering why then he wanted you and Sasuke instead of Sasuke and say, Tsunade? Well, any reasonable person would figure that if Hamura and Hagoromo had the powers that they did, and had the same parent, then their parent would likely have all of their abilities combined. So perhaps Orochimaru is not trying to get Hagoromo or Hamura's power, but their parents' power. Naruto explained. Of course it is entirely possible he doesn't know what the hell he is doing. Maybe he just likes your powers and likes the Sharingan, and the Mokuton. Maybe it's all just a fluke, Naruto said with a little bit of mirth in his tone. None of this matters. I've been ordered to kill you and return with your corpse. You're coming with me, Kimimaro declared as he pulled out the entire bone structure of his arm from out of his left palm, new bones immediately replacing the ones that he had just lost. This is the only weapon I'll need to defeat you. Prepare yourself, Namake's trash. This dance of the camellia will be the last thing you will ever see in your miserable life on this plane of existence, Kimimaro said without even taking a fighting stance, simply standing still as if waiting for the blonde Uzumaki to make the first move. I'm not really sure you know the meaning of the word assassination anymore. I mean, are you waiting for me to attack you first? What happens if I just make a run for it? What are you going to do then? Naruto taunted. No response? He seems very confident about the intel he has on me. I suppose it wouldn't make sense for the leader of the bloodline to waste an opportunity like this. The Shikatsumiyaku is a very powerful and versatile bloodline limit, and I already have 2 Hyuga clan corpses in store. If I can kill this guy, and combine his DNA with my Uzumaki DNA and the Hyuga DNA, I'll be able to attain Hamura's powers for myself. Win or lose, it's a risk worth taking, Naruto thought with both excitement and wariness, removing his gunbai from his back as he prepared himself for what could end up becoming the toughest fight of his life since he fought Gatsu all those years ago. Very well, let's do this, Naruto thought as he disappeared in a burst of speed, feinting for a cross strike towards Kimimaro's side before twisting his arms at the last moment and swinging downwards with an overhead vertical strike. Pathetic, Kimimaro said with a bored tone, unimpressed by the Uzumaki Jinchuriki's speed and easy-to-read tactics as he brought his bone sword up to guard against the gunbai. It was a very big mistake on his part as the gunbai completely smashed through his bone sword and hit him right between the shoulder and the neck, completely obliterating his clavicle and smashing the bone user's entire body into the ground, a huge shockwave washing over the entire area as chunks of debris went flying everywhere and a huge crater formed in the area where Kimimaro's body was. In fact, the impact was so great that the entire area was reconstructed, trees toppling over as the shock wave washed over the entire area. Even after downing his opponent like that, Naruto was still maintaining a vigilant eye, jumping away to a safer distance and observing his enemy at a close but safe enough distance that he would have time to react to any surprise attacks. It was his policy to never underestimate his opponents, and that was especially so for this particular opponent. He'd read the Uzumaki texts, he knew just how strong and durable the bodies of the Kagaya clan were, even stronger than an Uzumaki body, which was ridiculously strong itself. His chakra surged just before I connected with that blow, and despite all logic, this guy is still alive and kicking, Naruto thought, and as if reading his thoughts, Kimimaro stopped playing possum and got back up on his feet, or rather his left foot, as the entire right side of his body, including his right foot, was all mangled up, chunks of his right side completely missing from the rest of his body. How did you generate that much power? I wasn't aware super strength was one of your abilities, Kimimaro said with a calm and even tone given the state of his condition, black marks spreading all over his body as the curse seal level 1 activated, his entire right side, which was completely mangled, healing and regenerating in just a few seconds, much to Naruto's awe as even he had never had to heal injuries that were so severe before, wondering if he himself would have been able to do it had the roles been reversed. That is quite an impressive healing ability you have there. In any case, to answer your question, my gunbai is littered with strength and durability enhancing seals, that's why it is so strong and durable. It also has seals of my own creation, gravity seals. I drastically increased the gravity on the gunbai at the moment just before impact, which is why I was able to down you like that with just one move. If you were anyone else, you'd be dead now, Naruto replied casually. I see. In that case, all I have to do is avoid guarding against your blows or outright getting hit by them. Your speed is unimpressive, so that won't be a problem for me, especially now that I'm in curse mode level 1. Kimimaro retorted. Of course, accusing Naruto of having ordinary speed was an incredible overstatement. The truth of the matter was that Naruto was faster than at least 90% of the Jonin in the Hidden Leaf, which meant that he was incredibly fast even for a Jonin, much less a Genin. Kimimaro was simply measuring him by his own standards and comparing Naruto to himself, a Kage-level ninja who was so highly rated by Orochimaru, a Sannin and Kage-level ninja himself, that he thought that he would have easily won the war against the Leaf had Kimimaro been healthy enough at the time to join the war effort. There was also the terrible assumption that Kimimaro was making, assuming that Naruto didn't have another level to his fighting ability much like he had with the Cursed Seal level 1 and 2. Of course he maybe couldn't possibly know this, as only Jirobo, Sakan, Yukon, and Taiyuya had seen the Shunpa no Jutsu and the Rasen Chakra no Yoroi in action. The first three had died in that battle, therefore unable to pass on the intel, and Taiyuya had not only defected but was actually presumed dead. It wasn't even the only option Naruto had in terms of increasing his physical capabilities, as it was a well-kept secret in the bloodline that he was a perfect Jinchuriki thanks to his mastery of the chakra chain technique, a jutsu which enabled him to suppress, absorb, convert, and control Biju chakra. Kimimaro probably should have known better despite the lack of information, but being such an outstanding talent and genius actually worked against him this time, as he was so used to being better than everyone else that he couldn't fathom anyone else being on his level. I've worked tirelessly to improve my basic speed since my fight with the Sound 3, but this guy was able to casually follow my movements and react to them with extreme ease, and now he has activated Curse Seal level 1, which means he will be even faster than before. To make matters worse, he now knows not to guard against my gunbai attacks. I guess I'll have no choice but to use the Shunpa no Jutsu. Naruto thought analytically, quickly activating the Shunpa no Jutsu, and just in time too as Kimimaro, in the blink of an eye, was able to instantly close the distance between the two of them, also, in an instant, form another bone sword as he attempted to perforate Naruto through the chest. One can imagine his surprise when his bone hit nothing but air, Naruto appearing behind him right on his blind spot and swinging his gunbai downwards again, this time at double the gravity as the previous time, whilst also aiming for the head this time around. However, he was forced to cancel his attack and to cancel the gravity effect in order to bring his gunbai down to cover his entire body, as huge bones that suspiciously looked like gigantic ribs sprouted out from Kimimaro's back, the bones so thick, so strong, so long, and so fast that they sent Naruto flying away rapidly despite guarding against them. It looked like Naruto was going to crash head first into the last remaining tree in the area, but much to the bone user's surprise, instead of crashing into the tree, the blonde Uzumaki instead flew upwards and began levitating in the air. He's flying, Kimimaro thought warily. Of course, he was surprised that the blonde Uzumaki could fly in the first place, but that on its own was not the main issue of concern. The reason he was so worried was because of the realistic possibility that the blonde Uzumaki could just fly away from their battle at any moment, and there wouldn't be much he could do to stop him from leaving the battleground. Failure was not an option for him, not for a mission of this level of importance, and quite frankly, not ever, as he had never failed a mission before in his life. I have to find a way to end the battle in an instant, before he decides to retreat. I'll have to use the dance of the clematis, Kimimaro thought strategically, his body transforming fully into his Cursed Seal level 2 mode, skin turning grayish-black and a long, dinosaur-like tail growing on his back with large bones protruding out of it. There were also large and thick bones protruding from his upper back and lower back as well. Cursed Seal level 2? So that's the Cursed Seal of Earth, huh? He looks like a bloody dinosaur. Naruto thought incredulously. How is that form supposed to give you an advantage? Even if you use that powerful dinosaur form to jump around, there's no way you'll be able to catch me. My wind style, God of the Sky technique gives me the advantage in this situation. Naruto taunted with a confident smirk. Does it now? Kimimaro retorted as he did the unthinkable, completely ripping out his freakishly long spinal column and following said maneuver, quickly taking advantage of Naruto's shock as he used the spinal column in the most unimaginable way possible, using it as a whip to catch the young Jinchuriki in the air, instantaneously wrapping it around the young Jinchuriki's entire body. How do you like my dance of the clematis, Vine? Now you can't zip around anymore like the measly little fly you are, Kimimaro said with a confident smirk. Internally, though, he wasn't feeling anywhere near as confident as he was pretending to be. Yes, he was relieved that he had managed to catch the Yondaime Hokage's brat before he could make the decision to fly away from the battle, but things didn't go exactly as planned. For one, the dance of the clematis vine relied on the fact that the sharp edges of his vertebrae would dig into the flesh of his opponent once he caught them, making it impossible for his opponent to escape from their confinement. However, just before his vine wrapped itself around his target, a powerful, spiraling armor made entirely of chakra sprouted from the blonde Uzumaki, preventing the bone user's vine from digging into his flesh. He still managed to catch him, but the blonde Uzumaki had since stopped levitating and was now standing on the surface of the earth, still wrapped in his vine, of course. One would think this would have pleased the bone user, but in actuality it just confused the hell out of him, as he couldn't figure out if landing on the surface was a part of some tactic, or strategy, or if it was because the blonde Uzumaki was simply unable to use the God of the Sky technique simultaneously with the chakra armor. This is my Rasen Chakra no Yoroi. It is the jutsu that defeated your comrades, the same jutsu that will defeat you. And yes, I have yet to figure out how to both fly and have this jutsu activated. That's why I'm on the ground without you having to pull me down. It would appear that even your super strong and super sharp bones are unable to penetrate this armor. If you cannot penetrate my armor, then you cannot inflict fatal injuries on me, and if you cannot do that, then you cannot win. Naruto stated matter-of-factly. Don't get ahead yourself, you haven't seen my strongest attack yet. Kimimaro exclaimed as he moved towards the blonde Uzumaki at speeds that far exceed that of the standard or even elite jonin, his strong, dinosaur-like structure helping him to propel himself forward at incredible speed. Dance of the Clematis, flower! Kimimaro exclaimed, a gigantic drill made entirely of extremely dense and razor-sharp bone growing over his left arm and spinning rapidly as Kimimaro attempted to drill right through Naruto's chest area. It was a futile effort, as Kimimaro's strongest offensive jutsu began to disintegrate almost as soon as it made contact with the chakra armor, the sheer shock and disbelief in his eyes so palpable that Naruto almost thought he could reach out and touch it. Impossible! This can't be! Kimimaro exclaimed in shock. The Rasengan was the Yondaime Hokage's signature offensive jutsu, a jutsu that is the pinnacle of chakra-shaped manipulation, and I went and created a full-body version of that jutsu. What you just attempted to do, Kimimaro-san, is the same as trying to drill through a Rasengan. In other words, a futile attempt. Naruto said, flexing his muscles and almost effortlessly breaking out of his restraints, shattering the clematis vine into pieces. Impossible! How could he have broken through two of my strongest jutsu so easily? Even the Yondaime Kazekage's gold dust was no match for my dance of the clematis. This guy, just what the hell is he? Kimimaro thought dreadfully. Wind style, blade of the wind god. Naruto said, focusing a large amount of wind-style chakra on his right hand, a loud, screeching sound emanating from his right hand as wind chakra coated his entire hand, a small, super-sharp blade forming at the tip of his hand. Kimimaro, upon hearing the eardrum bursting sound and witnessing the jutsu with his own eyes, knew immediately that he had to do everything in his power to avoid getting hit with that jutsu, jumping away to a considerable distance away from the blonde Uzumaki before immediately going through a set of hand seals, gathering an insane amount of chakra in the process before putting both his hands on the surface. Or at least, that's what he would have done if he didn't suddenly get a hand shoved through his chest. Foolish! Did you really think you had time to form hand seals? Did you think the Rasen Chakra no Yoroi only boosts my strength and not my speed too? Naruto asked rhetorically, seemingly unfazed by the fact that his hand was sticking out from the back of his opponent, Kimimaro wondering just how many people this guy must have killed to become that apathetic about what he had just done, although if he had to be honest with himself, he wasn't one to talk either given how many people he had killed in Orochimaru's name. As so, this blade of the W-Wind God Jutsu, it's a supplementary jutsu to your chakra armor? Kimimaro managed to say somehow, despite the fact that there was an arm shoved right through his heart. Correct. My chakra armor is the ultimate, impenetrable shield, and this jutsu is the ultimate, all-cutting blade. These two techniques, together, make me invincible. Naruto said, not arrogantly, but matter-of-factly. I figured you might have something like this up your sleeve, that's why I took precautions. I covered my entire body with a layer of bone right under the skin. And I even covered my entire heart with a cocoon made of bone. I thought I was making myself invulnerable. I suppose my ultimate defense was surpluses to requirements. Kimimaro somehow finished an entire paragraph through a terrible coughing fit, blood spattering from his mouth, although none of it was able to penetrate Naruto's chakra armor, which was still activated. You are a formidable opponent. Having witnessed your fighting prowess firsthand, I can honestly say that you are the second strongest person that I have ever fought. Naruto said earnestly. Only the second, huh? Kimimaro said with a small smile. If it makes you feel better, the guy who was stronger than you is a member of the Bloodline now. He is no slouch, Naruto said, hoping to provide a bit of comfort to his soon-to-be deceased opponent. I see. In any case, that was a ridiculous amount of chakra you gathered earlier. What kind of jutsu were you gonna cast before I interfered? Naruto asked curiously. Before you interfered? Hee hee. What a curious way to describe what you just did. Nevertheless, that jutsu is called Bracken Dance. It's a large-scale jutsu. I've taken out entire battalions with that jutsu. It wasn't going to do anything to you, I just needed a distraction in order to yes. Kimimaro trailed off. In order to what? Naruto asked impatiently. Yo! In order to warehouse? Naruto trailed off, his eyes widening suddenly as realization dawned on him. I can't feel his chakra anymore. He's dead. Well, he actually should have died almost instantly. He must have insane willpower to have kept himself alive for that long anyway. Naruto thought as he removed his arm from the older boy's chest, unceremoniously dropping the bone user's corpse on the ground. Developing a jutsu that serves both as the ultimate offense and the ultimate defense is the path to victory, the path to dominion on the battlefield. The fourth Hokage used his speed, reflexes and instantaneous teleportation as a means to both defend himself and to attack his enemies. I on the other hand developed the Rasen Chakra no Yoryo and its supplementary jutsu, the Blade of the Wind God technique as a means to both defend myself and attack my enemies. You also used your Dead Bone Pulse to both defend yourself and to attack your enemies. Having an ultimate defense and ultimate offense is the mark of a genius shinobi. You were a formidable opponent, a genius amongst geniuses. It was an honor to fight you, Kage Kimimaro. Naruto concluded a small eulogy for his opponent before deactivating both his ultimate techniques, the small eulogy a sign of just how much respect the genius of the Kage clan had earned from the genius of the Uzumaki clan. Now I should probably seal away his body and clean up all evidence that a battle took place here, but first. Naruto thought, quickly summoning and throwing a wind-enhanced kunai in the direction 180 degrees from where he was standing, the kunai flying through the fallen tree that was behind him as if the tree wasn't there at all. Such was the strength and sharpness of the wind oscillations coating his kunai, hitting the bullseye on his target, which was hiding behind said tree. Naruto able to hear the poofing sound of a deactivated summoning technique. Damn that Pakken, he's more skilled than I thought. He managed to deactivate the summoning at the point of contact. He's probably only slightly injured as a result. Naruto thought irritably. He thought that everyone would have been too focused on the Sasuke situation to pay much attention to him, especially one Hatake Kakashi, as at this point it was an open secret that Sasuke was his favorite pupil. However, Naruto was again reminded of just how unpredictable human nature is, as he was beginning to understand that the ordeal with Sasuke could have made Kakashi want to pay extra attention to his remaining students. Perhaps he'd become more protective of them, or perhaps more suspicious of them. Whichever the case may be, Kakashi clearly wasn't leaving anything to chance anymore. Maybe I should have dealt with Pakken first, and then Kimimaro? No! If I had done that, Pakken would have inadvertently called for reinforcements, and I would have been unable to secure the Dead Bone Pulse as a result. I made the right call. Hopefully I will be able to talk my way out of this. Naruto thought, taking a very deep breath as he braced himself for the chaos that was about to ensue. 1 week later, status report. Tsunade exclaimed for the 7th day in a row to the same group of people, those being Jiraiya, Hatake Kakashi, Yamanaka Inoichi, Marino Ibiki, and Mitarashi Anko. Nothing to report. I can't get through to him at all. I even told him about his mother and father. I thought for sure finding out that his father was the Yondaime Hokage would completely change his worldview. But he doesn't seem to care at all. If anything, it appears as though he already knew this information and just doesn't care one way or the other. I don't know how he could have known about it though. Jiraiya said with both sadness and frustration in his tone. I see, and what about you, Kakashi? Has he finally said anything? Tsunade asked curiously. As a matter of fact he has. He seemed to be in an especially good mood today. I don't know why though, but it makes me feel a bit uneasy. Kakashi said with concern, causing a frown to appear on Tsunade's facial features. What did he say, Kakashi-san? Shizen asked with both curiosity and angst. He admitted to aiding Sasuke in his escape. He allowed him to copy his shadow clone jutsu with the Sharingan, and taught him how to make a reinforced shadow clone. He also helped him with his training prior to his defection, and advised him about how to survive the life of a rogue ninja. Finally, he admitted to helping Sasuke to master the Cursed Seal powers. Apparently there is another level to the Curse Seal level 2 he called it. Sasuke can now use the full power of the Curse Seal without any of the severe drawbacks he had before. Kakashi explained dejectedly, unable to understand how things could have gone so terribly wrong with his students, one being a rogue ninja now, the other being an accomplice and a menace with unclear intentions, and the other probably suffering from depression as a result. Sandaime-sama, Is this how you felt when Orochimaru spiraled into the darkness? Is this how you felt when Tsunade-sama cut all ties with the village? Kakashi thought with a broken heart. Why you can't be serious? How could? It can't be, Jiraiya said in denial. I'm only passing on what he told me. I'm finding it hard to believe myself, but if you look at the situation objectively, this is something Naruto is capable of doing. Kakashi said, all the while looking down on the floor as he didn't want to see the pained look on Jiraiya's face, especially since he felt partially responsible for chaos and the many troubles that his students were causing to the village. So he basically just admitted that he aided Sasuke in committing one of the worst crimes that a ninja can commit, making him a criminal himself? Tsunade asked rhetorically. Yes, Godame-sama, Kakashi replied with a subdued tone. I absolutely agree with you. Naruto must be planning something. Fortunately, I took the liberty to increase security around his prison cell. There are now 6 elite 4-man ANBU squads watching over him, and one of those teams includes the ANBU codename Yamato. Tsunade declared with a confident smirk. Yamato? That would be Tenzo, wouldn't it, the Mokuton user? That's a smart move, especially since we can't even use chakra suppression seals on him, Jiraiya said with a nod of the head in approval. He tried to seal away Naruto's chakra on the day that they arrested him, the same day that he fought the bone user as Pakken described him. The attempt had failed spectacularly, and he almost lost a hand and an arm as a result. Somehow, Naruto had created and placed seals and barriers on himself that prevented foreign chakra from entering his body. As a result, mind transfer techniques, genjutsu, and chakra suppression seals did not work on him. What made matters worse was that these seals didn't just negate these forms of jutsu from being used on him, the result was a violent counter-strike. In Jiraiya's case it was almost getting his entire arm incinerated. In case of the mind transfer and genjutsu it was folding the user's mind on itself, knocking the user out for 3 straight days. As one can imagine, this made using traditional interrogation tactics such as genjutsu and mind reading quite literally impossible, and it also made restraining Naruto impossible too, which is why he needed to have 6 entire squads of ANBU as well as a Mokuton user guarding him at all times. Indeed, nevertheless, I'm curious to hear what you have to say, Ibiki Anko? Did he by any chance mention anything to you? Any information, no matter how irrelevant it seems, might come in handy. Tsunade asked. Naruto's mind is fortified in more ways than one. It isn't just a matter of the seal and barrier jutsu he has protecting his mind and chakra network, it is also a matter of him having an unbreakable will as well. No amount of mind play phases him. I even told him that we had found a new host for the QB and were going to extract the beast and seal it in another person. His retort was that his sealing jutsu would prevent any attempt at extraction, but I told him that we would simply kill him and wait for the beast to remanifest itself, and he just laughed at me. I'm not talking about the fake macho laugh that captives make to mask their fears either. What I said genuinely tickled him. For some reason he found it funny. Ibiki explained, much to everyone's frustration. I've never met anyone whose mind I couldn't break, but I concede, I cannot break Uzumaki Naruto. He is an abnormality. Ibiki stated matter-of-factly. I see, and Anko, did your method yield any results? Tsunade asked curiously. Nope, not at all. I mean, I like a guy who can handle pain, you know. I don't want no pussy for a man, but this guy is just ridiculous. It makes matters worse that he can heal his wounds instantly, so it makes it feel like I'm not really doing anything to him. I just keep cutting and cutting and cutting, and he just keeps healing and healing and healing. It's an endless cycle. At first it was intriguing and fun, but now it's just boring, you know. Anko whined petulantly. So, you didn't get anything out of him? Shizen asked. Now you know, but you know, he kept asking me about Kurenai. That really ticked me off. Here I am, the hot and sexy Mitarashi Anko, taking some of my valuable time of the day to invest in him, and all he can talk about is another woman. Men. They're all the same, you just can never satisfy M. Eventually I had no choice but to get Nai-chan in there with him. She's with him right now. I mean, I hate that he prefers another woman to me, but if it's Nai-chan I suppose it's okay. Can't blame the kid, she's almost as hot as I am. Anko concluded her long tirade. So he's with Kurenai right now? Good, he has quite an obvious soft spot for her. If she plays her cards right, maybe he'll give us something useful. Tsunade trailed off as she was interrupted, an ANBU female with purple hair bursting into the Hokage's office unannounced. What is the meaning of this, Yugao? Tsunade exclaimed angrily. Jigo-dame-sama. Alarms have gone off at the black site where Uzumaki Naruto is being kept. 2 powerful chakra signatures have been spotted nearby, and many of our ANBU's chakra signatures have disappeared almost altogether at once, Yugao declared with extreme urgency. 2 powerful chakras? Akatsuki? Kyuso. What a bad time for us to have to deal with them. Tsunade exclaimed angrily. Kakashi and I will go, we'll handle the situation, Jiraiya said reassuringly. No. We'll all go. We cannot allow them to escape no matter what. We need to make a statement to these Akatsuki fiends. Shizen, give Guy and Asuma the coordinates of the black site, and call Naro Shikaku and have him take over my responsibilities while I deal with this mess. Jiraiya, Kakashi, Ibiki, Anko, Yugao, follow me. Hi, Hokage-sama. Everyone saluted, including Jiraiya, everyone simultaneously jumping into action following the Hokage's orders. Earlier, black site. I'm told that you asked for me. Why? I already told you that I'm not interested. I have a boyfriend, and you're way too young for me, Kurenai said, not beating about the bush at all as she cut straight to the point. The second part is true, you do have a boyfriend, but the first part is a lie. You didn't visit me at a black site in order to tell me that. You visited me because you were concerned and wanted to see how I was doing. You visited me because despite your reservations and despite your situation with Asuma-sensei, you are interested in me, Naruto said as if it was the most obvious thing in the world. Even if that is the case, even if I have feelings for you, the fact is I love Asuma and I have every intention of becoming his wife and spending the rest of my life with him. Nothing will change that, and I'm not interested in a premarital fling or having a side man. I'm not that kind of woman, Kurenai said with conviction. I appreciate your honesty, and I appreciate that you are a woman of principle, however that makes you all the more desirable in my eyes. In any case, tell me, Kurenai-sensei, what do you know about the Bloodline? Naruto asked rhetorically, Kurenai's eyes widening slightly in surprise as she didn't know that Naruto knew about the existence of that organization. So you're the mole inside the village, the one responsible for all those missing clan members? You're working for the Bloodline, Kurenai said with both shock and disappointment. I'm not just a member of that organization, Kurenai-sensei, I'm the founder of that organization, the founder. And the leader, Naruto declared with a slightly arrogant smirk. What? Impossible. The Bloodline is an organization of S-level ninja on par with the Akatsuki. There is no way you could be the leader of such an organization, Kurenai said incredulously, her mind flashing back to the encounter she, Asuma, and Kakashi had with the Akatsuki, remembering just how terrifying and overwhelming it was to go up against a ninja of that caliber, and also remembering just how terribly outclassed she was. Are you saying that because you don't believe I'm a ninja of that caliber? Then tell me, who was it that bested and hospitalized Hatake Kakashi without a single scratch in the graduation test? Who was it that saved the legendary copy ninja from Demon of the Mist, and then went on to defeat said Demon of the Mist? Who is it that defeated Orochimaru's strongest subordinate just a week ago, the same guy who killed the Yondaime Kazekage? Tell me, Kurenai-sensei, do those feats not sound like the feats of an S-level ninja? Naruto asked rhetorically, Kurenai's eyes widening as realization dawned on her. Why are you telling me all of this? Kurenai asked defensively. The Bloodline, like the Akatsuki, work in 2-man cells. In the organization, I am the only one who doesn't have a partner. Naruto trailed off, leaving the rest for Kurenai to put 2 and 2 together. Why you want me to join the Bloodline as your partner? That's preposterous. I'm not a ninja of that caliber. I couldn't even do anything against Akatsuki. If anything, I was nothing but a burden, Kurenai said dejectedly. Hee. What are you laughing at? Kurenai said angrily. I'm laughing at you, of course. I find it interesting that your first reaction is not out of concern for betraying Asuma or Konoha, but rather out of concern about whether you would be good enough to be a member of the Bloodline or not. Kurenai-sensei, no, rather, Kurenai-chan, you are so in denial about your feelings for me. Deep down, we both know that you would like nothing more than to be swept off of your feet by me, and I would like nothing more than to do that to you. Preposterous. Uzumaki Naruto, you are without a shadow of doubt the most delusional person I have ever met, Kurenai said defensively. I beg to differ. In any case, have you wondered why exactly we collect the corpses of people with bloodline lineages? Naruto asked rhetorically. I have created a jutsu, the Chimera no Jutsu. It allows me to basically fuse a person's corpse into the cell structure of another living person, granting the living person all the abilities and powers of the person to whom the corpse belongs to. Do you know which corpses I intended to fuse with you if you joined the organization? Naruto asked rhetorically, Kurenai too shell-shocked by the load of information to mount a response, marveling at the fact that Naruto had created such a powerful kenjutsu. Uchiha, of course. Many families were slaughtered by Uchiha Itachi that night of the massacre. I happened to have stolen many of the corpses for myself. Granted, the eyes were already stolen when I got there, but a bloodline limit, even if a digitsu by nature, is contained in the overall DNA and not just the eyes. If I fuse your body with an entire family of Uchiha, as in father, son, wife, and daughter, then just how powerful will you become when you awaken your Sharingan? You're the best genjutsu user in Konoha, but Itachi made you look like a civilian child trying to pick a fight with a grown man. But imagine if you had the power of the Uchiha too? How would a rematch with Itachi go, I wonder? Naruto trailed off with a sinister smirk, watching in amusement and joy as the cogs in Kurenai's head began to churn as she weighed her options. It's the only way you can take your genjutsu prowess to the next level. Naruto pressed on. Also, I want to see what happens when you awaken the Manjiko Sharingan. Considering the fact that you will have the DNA of an entire family inside of you, does it mean that you will get the eternal Manjiko Sharingan right away, or will it just be a normal Manjiko Sharingan? That is, of course, going by Kabuto's information about how the Uchiha powers work. I can't. I can't forsake myself in the name of power. That would make me no different from Itachi, Orochimaru, and Sasuke. I won't lie, I'm intrigued by your offer, it is very tempting, but my answer is no. Kurenai trailed off as the alarms went off in the base, shocking her considerably as this was supposed to be a black site that was almost impossible for an enemy, or even an ally to find. Well, it looks like we just ran out of time, it's about time for me to go, Naruto said as he got up on his feet, casually dusting himself off as if he was about to step out of his own house for the day. What's going on? Kurenai asked warily. I didn't make contact with my comrades as per schedule this week, so they've come to get me. I could have escaped on my own if I wanted to, but I think this way is better. Despite all I've accomplished, the higher-ups of Konoha still underestimate me greatly. They still hold on to their preconceptions of me, and those preconceptions cloud their judgment. If I had left on my own, you guys would have recklessly chased after me, but if you see firsthand the fate that awaits anyone who challenges the bloodline, then I'm inclined to believe you'll think twice before chasing after me. Naruto explained. Naruto-kun, I believe it is you who is underestimating us. 6 of the best A and BU squads Konoha has to offer are watching over you and protecting this base. As far as I'm aware, you have about 9 or 10 members in your squad. Do you really think that will be enough to take on 6 4-man elite A and BU squads? Moreover, your amateurish friends have triggered the alarm, which means Godame herself is probably on her way, along with Jiraiya-sama, Kakashi, Gai-sen, and Asuma-kun. Your friends don't stand a. Kurenai trailed off in shock as the door to Naruto's cell was blasted off of its hinges, the door flying rapidly in hers and Naruto's direction, forcing both her and Naruto to jump onto the ceiling, using the wall climbing technique to stick to the ceiling with their feet. Yo, Naruto-tama! What the hell are you dawdling over here for? Can't you see that it's time to go? A gigantic man said with his right foot in the air, Kurenai's eyes widening considerably when she realized that the door had actually been kicked away contrary to what she initially thought. Impossible! That door weighs over 50 tons and requires a special jutsu casted by 2 A and BU squads in order to open. How could a mere kick have blasted the door away? Only Godame-sama should be capable of such a feat. Kurenai thought incredulously. Strong and dramatic as ever I see, Gatsu, Naruto said with a wry smile, jumping down onto the floor again now that the danger was out of the way. Naruto-tama, could you please stop saying that about me? I'm not dramatic, damn it, I'm super dramatic. The behemoth of a man, now identified as Gatsu, said with proud smirk on his face. He was tall, extremely tall for someone who was still a teenager, hell, extremely tall even for a full-grown adult, spotting shot black hair and equally black eyes. He had manly facial features, more manly than boyish, although one could still tell that he was on the young side, and he had a very athletic body with large and wiry muscles and broad shoulders, although the muscles couldn't be seen under his crimson-red cloak. Speaking of which, the cloak had a high collar and reached all the way to the knees, and it also had a large kanji for blood at the back and had a large, black DNA sequence going across the front from top right to bottom left, and one at the back also from top right to bottom left. Below he was wearing black ninja pants and equally black ninja sandals, along with white leg warmers, and on his back was a large sword wrapped around in white bandages, the Kubikuru Bocho. I'll stop only when you stop calling me Naruto-tama, Naruto countered with a tick mark on his forehead, unable to believe that Gatsu had the nerve to carelessly continue to refer to him by that honorific, if one could even call it that. The name Tama was a derivative of the words team and sama. It was a way for Gatsu to both show his respect for Naruto as their leader whilst also letting him know that he thought of him as a crazy bastard at the same time. Heh! Why are you so shy all of a sudden? Is it because of the girl? Hee. So she's the one you won't stop talking about, huh? She's very beautiful. I can see why you would be taken by her. Gatsu said casually, causing Naruto's cheeks to flush with embarrassment. Ha! Heh, are you actually blushing? Ha ha! Gatsu laughed maniacally. You two shouldn't be playing around so much. Konoha's reinforcements are on their way. Another young man said as he entered the cell. He is a handsome young man with long black hair tied in a ponytail and brown eyes. His eyelashes are unusually long, giving him a slightly feminine appearance. He was also wearing the standard Bloodline uniform just like Gatsu, and was also wearing brown gloves which cover only the back of his hands and his wrists. Those eyes, I've never seen eyes so menacing before. It's like looking at a demon, like looking at death itself. Is that a jujutsu of some sort? Kurenai thought warily, trying valiantly and failing to contain her fear as she gazed into the teenager's eyes that had crimson-red cornea and pupils that shined a brilliant gold color. Unknown to Kurenai, or anyone outside of the Bloodline, those eyes were created by Naruto via experimentation. It was the culmination of the Yamanaka clan, the Hyuga clan, and the Uchiha clan's bloodline limit, creating an extremely powerful bloodline limit that was greater than the sum of its parts. Kurenai-chan, let me introduce you to my comrades. The big guy is Momochi Gatsu. He is from the same clan as Momochi Zabuza and has taken upon himself the title of Demon of the Mist. The handsome bloke over here with the demonic eyes is Kuga Genosuke, the last living member of the Kuga clan of Yuzushiogakyu no Sato. Those scary-looking eyes are his Dojutsu, the Onigan. Naruto casually introduced his partners in crime as if he was just a random guy introducing his friends to his girlfriend. Pleased to meet your acquaintance, Kurenai Dano, Genosuke said politely. Nice to meet ya, but we can catch up later when we get to the base 8. Who knows, you might end up liking me more than Naruto-tama over there. He's too short for you anyway. Gatsu teased mischievously. You're so uncultured it's quite frankly ridiculous how classless you are. How did I ever end up partnered with you? Genosuke said in dismay. I'm afraid she won't be coming with us, Gatsu. She has rejected my proposal, we'll be leaving her behind. Naruto said as he formed a ram hand seal, with a puff of smoke summoning a bloodline cloak for himself too and proceeding to wear it over his original attire, following which proceeding to summon his gun by and placing it on his back. Reinforcements are coming this way rapidly, it would be better to meet in an open plain, as opposed to here, it will make things easier for us. Naruto said, now spotting a serious tone and facial expression. When he said that his comrades had come to rescue him, I thought he meant all of the bloodline members, but only 2 people are here. Is he serious? Does he honestly believe that the 3 of them are enough to defeat the whole of Konoha? Does he believe the 3 of them can take on Jiraiya-sama and Tsunade-sama, along with all of the strongest jonin Konoha has to offer? Kurenai thought incredulously. In any case, I can't allow them to leave this cell with Naruto-kun, I'll have to stop them here. Kurenai thought as she jumped down onto the floor, standing between the 2 bloodline members and their target. Not another move from the 2 of you. You're not taking Naruto-kun anywhere. Not on my watch, Kurenai declared with conviction. Kurenai-chan, I'm touched by your valiant effort, but have you actually thought carefully about your next move? Those 6 elite ANBU squads you mentioned, where do you think they are right now? What do you think happened to them, in such a short amount of time too? Naruto asked rhetorically, Kurenai's eyes widening to epic proportions in realization. He's right. Now that I think about it, it sure is deathly silent out there, and these guys don't even look winded. In fact, they don't look like they were in a fight at all. Kurenai thought analytically. Speaking of which, there was a Mokutan user in the group of ANBU that attacked us. We took the liberty to seal his corpse away, figured you might have some use for him. Also, it appears as though Otogekure has not given up on assassinating you. We found an assassin with spider-like qualities on our way over here. He appears to have been a long-range assassin and a member of the Sound Elite 5, Kidamaru or something was his name. He was aiming a gigantic arrow in the direction of your cell. We sealed him away too, we figured his abilities were unique enough to pique your interest. Gatsu suddenly remembered to report. A Mokutan user and a spider-like ninja, huh? You did well, Gatsu, Genosuke, you did very well. Naruto said satisfactory. Yamato is dead? Just like that? Then. All the Anbu must really have been killed. But how? How could they have killed them so quickly? Kurenai thought disbelievingly. No. It doesn't matter. The only way to find out is to attack them. Any information I gain will prove useful. If I'm not overestimating Naruto-kun's feelings for me, then he won't allow them to kill me even if I lose. At least this way I'll gain an insight into their abilities. Kurenai reasoned as she quickly pulled out a kunai and threw it at Gatsu. At least, that's what she wanted to do, what she thought she was going to. Instead, she found herself struggling against her very own killing intent, trying to stop herself from slitting her own throat. Those eyes, those demonic eyes filling up her entire line of sight as they became the only thing she could see, apart from the kunai that was about to slit her own neck, that is to say. Thankfully, for Kurenai that is, chakra chains burst out of the ground from beneath her and wrapped around all of her limbs, completely restraining her, and thus saving her life. Demonic subjugation of the wicked spirit. You just witnessed firsthand the power of the Onigan. Genosuk has the power to turn your own killing intent against you, therefore no form of attack works on him. He also has a 360-degree line of vision, X-ray vision, and telescopic vision. In other words, closing your eyes is useless, attack from long range is useless, and attack from behind is useless. Attacking in numbers is also useless. Nothing can bypass the visual prowess of the Onigan. This kind of power, this godly power, this is what it means to become a member of the Bloodline. The 5 Kage run the world today, but tomorrow is ours. Naruto said as he walked around and faced Kurenai, cupping her chin in his right hand as he addressed her one last time. I had such great plans for you and high hopes for us. But I suppose power isn't everything after all. Even with great power and great charisma, there will be some things that you cannot attain. Enjoy your life with Asuma, Kurenai-sensei. I hope it will be everything that you hoped for, that is of course, provided Asuma lives through today. No matter how much I care about you, I'm not about to handicap my own comrades to save your man. If he becomes a threat, he will be eliminated. Naruto said just before delivering a karate chop that sent the Genjutsu mistress straight into unconsciousness. Come, Gatsu, Genosuk, we have a village to escape. Naruto said theatrically, the chakra chains that were holding the Ice Queen of Konoha in place disappearing as she dropped unceremoniously to the ground, Naruto turning around and walking out of the cell with purpose in his step, Gatsu and Genosuk trailing behind him. Heh! What a cold guy you are, Naruto-tama, Gatsu said with a taunting smirk. Not cold enough apparently, since he saved her life, Genosuk said neutrally. Hey! At least he didn't let her get in his head and cloud his judgment. A cute dame like that could turn any normal man's mind, you know. True, but Naruto-sama is no normal man. He stands at the pinnacle of mankind, perhaps even beyond, Genosuk replied. True. Gatsu nodded in approval. You guys know that I'm right here, don't you? Naruto retorted. Yeah, so? Gatsu retorted. Never mind, just focus on the mission. 5 minutes later, we look at this. Not only are we vastly outnumbered, but we are also surrounded. Sounds like the perfect time to let loose, Gatsu said with small smirk, unable to contain the excitement that was bubbling at the surface of his very core, his right hand instinctively drifting towards the gigantic sword on his back. No, let's leave this one to Genosuk. No need to waste any effort on Konoha scum, Naruto said with a taunting smirk. Konoha scum, huh? So says the traitorous deserter, Kakashi said, his lone visible eye narrowing in anger at the blonde Uzumaki. Naruto, what is the meaning of this? Who are these people? When we came here we assumed you were in trouble and that Akatsuki was attacking you. You can imagine our surprise to see you strutting around the village with these unknown goons, Jiraiya said with both confusion and wariness. Jiraiya of the Sannin, it is an honor to meet your acquaintance. My name is Momochi Gatsu, and this handsome bloke right here standing on Naruto-sama's right-hand side is Kuga Genosuk. We are members of the Bloodline organization. We don't want any trouble. You kidnapped the founder and leader of our organization. We simply came here to take him back. There is no need for anyone else to die. Give us back our leader, and all will be good in the world, Gatsu said as diplomatically as he could. You're full of jokes, aren't you? Jiraiya retorted. Enough chit-chat. Formation Pincer 584. Attack! Tsunade ordered furiously. It was a terrible mistake on her part, although to be fair to her, no one, absolutely no one could have expected what transpired next. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see the next part, don't forget to turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Please like, subscribe, and comment below to let me know your thoughts. Check out my other videos for more content you might enjoy. Until next time, take care.